right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning to others. Peace, everyone, and thanks for coming out to Island Summer Presents Yokin. Uh, we have Lawrence Guy on the panel with us today. Um, Shalom, brother Lawrence.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. And shalom to everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's
Yes,
doing well. Hope everybody's doing good.
yes, yes. Hello to everyone in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like on the way in. Thank y'all for coming out, and thank y'all for coming to of course, the last one I did. Appreciate that. I hope y'all. It was very insightful for everyone. And well, let me go ahead and I guess yeah, Norris, we about to go. Dorian, Nance, we're about to go. We about to get it going. Thanks for coming out, Taylor, shalom to you as well. And hey, we about to get it going. So, brother Lawrence.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I at the top of the chat, I've posted the actual video for the discussion. So if
Yeah,
anybody who came in late can go look at it real quick.
yeah, no
Um,
problem.
and I should have asked before I did that, but
No, it's good. It's cool. No problem. You got a wrench here. It was good. It was good to see.
um, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go on mute. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's
All
fine.
right.
That's fine. All right. Well, I guess I'll get it going from there. Um, so of course we having a barbershop talk, and it was on no remorse until their blood is required. Jealousy part 6. You know this. So I got a little jealousy series here. I got to put together. I have a little series here that whenever you go into my channel, that you can go into there. There'll be a whole, just kind of a lesson plan, a study session on that. But I think that it's so appropriate, how now when going into the story, how when you look at it, um, these individuals, they felt no remorse until their blood is now required to sacrifice for their actions. And how it's just so, it reigns true today with our society, and how it just goes to show uh, these are things that are currently going on, and how it applies today. Shane, what's good? What's good? Thanks for coming out. Yo, salute to you as well. And Wadner, shalom to you. Shalom to you. Uh, thank y'all for coming out. And no, it's on mute, so we'll wait. But hopefully I'll be able to have MOT and uh and maybe Agon come in. I don't know where he's at. But anyways, but I want to show how it reigns true still today. It wasn't until that it's required of them to bring their younger brother, their latest younger brother Benjamin, back for them to actually trade and gain food. That they would be able to trade to gain food for them to survive, because they needed, because the famine was so severe. Now a sacrifice is required, and may be required of their own blood, that they're now having remorse for selling their younger brother at the time, Joseph, into slavery, but just because they were jealous of the favoritism that their father had towards him. But now that the fear of that they may have to actually pay in blood for selling him into slavery, and them actually thinking that and them believing that he's actually dead because of their actions.
Okay. I have returned. My apologies. My sincere apologies, Isaac. And
It's
to
all
the
right.
chat.
It's all right, Lawrence. It's all right.
Daddy moments.
Ah,
So,
got you.
my daughter's out on the road trying to get some stuff done, and she ended up having to go somewhere else. So she always likes to keep me abreast. So if something happens, I know what area she's in, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and trying to help her figure out where to go.
Gotcha.
Like I said, daddy moments. So,
Hey, got you.
but
Understood.
I just came in. I know you were talking about Joseph. If you could
Mhm.
repeat the last two sentences for me, I missed it.
Oh, pretty much I was just saying, that it wasn't until that they were actually required to actually the fear that they may have to actually pay in blood for their choice of selling him into slavery. Do they have any remorse for those actions? And I just wanted to point out that this is how it is in society today, especially in Black America. Welcome,
Right.
MOT.
Oh, what's up, man? What's going on, Lauren? What's going on, man?
Oh, hey, MOT, how you
Hey, man.
doing?
What's going on, man? Not much, man. Chilling out.
Good, cool. But yeah,
You
so
got
yeah,
music playing?
hold on in the
No,
background.
okay, I'm sorry. So, MOT, how's everything?
Oh, it's going all right, man.
Yeah,
It's going very well.
are you
It's going very well.
taking a day off?
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna take off. I took off all last week. I think I'm gonna take off all of this week. I think I'm gonna work for another. I don't know. I kind of miss driving, and it's kind of mild everywhere. I normally stop driving for 3 months a year to not going to mountain areas and dealing with the snow and ice. But it's like right now it's pretty mild everywhere. There's no big snowstorms coming through, so I just want to go back at it and hit it hard because all the land that I wanted to look at, I've already looked at and
Yeah.
already hired somebody to clear off. So it's kind of what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. I got I got an email that I'm putting together that I'm gonna send you a little later. I ran across a gentleman over the weekend, well, Friday afternoon. Um, it's talking about putting together a trucking company. Um, and I'm not sure because I can't really I don't know the trucking industry to understand the lingo as good as you do. So I can't tell if he's looking for partners to create one or if he's looking for someone to guide him. But I
Yeah.
wanted to send you the basic information of what he wrote up and and see if I can make a connection between the two of you. I mean, if nothing else, get a couple of gigs from him, I guess. Oh, we lost him.
Who? Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I guess
yeah,
so. Man.
we lost him. Ah.
Yeah. Well, that
Anyway,
happens in this trucking.
he'll be back. It's MOT.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but going back to what you were saying about the not wanting to accept consequences until blood's required.
Yes.
Uh,
Until
uh,
your blood is required, more specifically.
yeah. That is 100%. Like you said, a big. I mean, out of all the people on this planet, that's huge in the Black community. Huge.
Yes.
And even when your blood is required, you still trying to find somebody else to sacrifice instead of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were saying in the chat, in the other video, what's the first go to? The children,
Right.
which is exactly what I think it was Ruben did by offering his two sons. I'm like,
Yes.
why would you offer your two sons when you're the one who did the wrong? Why didn't you offer yourself? You know
Yes.
what you know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
it's just crazy. It's crazy. Do it in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah. We'll do it in a heartbeat to keep from having to pay themselves
Mm-hmm.
for it. And that's why I said, it just goes to show how, this, I mean, who does it? Women. That's the mindset of women.
Yeah,
It's a
that which is
feminine mindset.
yeah, and that's exactly what I wrote in the chat. I mean, that's literally what I wrote in the chat. That's a female thing, 100%.
Yeah. Not wanting to pay for it now. Now when the cost is there is no other choice. Now you regret what you've actually done because now you have to actually play with your own blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they hate that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said, it just goes to show how, I mean, these dudes, they're like women. They're like women. They're exactly like females because they do the same shit. They do not want to pay until it's actually time. They don't want to pay. They don't care about their actions until it's time for them to pay.
Yep.
with their own blood until it's time for them to actually have to self-sacrifice. Now they care. Now it's like, oh damn, I shouldn't have done that. I done
Well,
fucked up now.
well, it's because, well, I'm pretty sure it was similar over the centuries, but at
Yeah.
least speaking in this time frame now, the long arm of the law is very, very long, and
Mm.
what you did at 15 won't catch up to you till you're 60. So they so in their
Gotcha.
so in their minds they're thinking, okay, well, I can still live a full life before the consequences happen. But
Okay.
but and we see that. We see people in the corporate world getting busted for Ponzi schemes after 30 years, and they've acquired millions upon billions of dollars. We see it on a normal circumstance when we see Pookie and Ray Ray do their nonsense,
Mm.
running with gangs or whatever, and it don't catch up to them to their in their 30s. They always think they have time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's weird because it's two versions of it. On one hand, it's they always think they think they got time before they get caught and they can figure out a way to get around it, or
Mm-hmm.
they think they have all the time in the world before having to make amends.
Yeah. It's very interesting because it makes me think about the that one stream I did. It's been probably at least a month ago on that on unconditional love, and that
Oh,
the
I
simple
remember that.
fact that there is no such thing. God even has conditions, and the
Hmm.
number one condition that He has is time. That's the first condition.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
well, like a conversation I had with someone before when we were speaking about scripture. They were talking about after sharing the information, they looked at me and it's like, well, I love you, man. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
do you understand what love is? Because don't
Mm,
get me wrong, I know I say it and I know my intent behind it, 100%. But these
gotcha.
people didn't know. These people didn't know me at all. Other than a brief conversation in the store.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So so
Yeah.
so so me being who I am, it's like, okay, do you understand what love means? And they're like, well, yeah, it's just how you feel about someone who does. I said, no, the true love is biblical. It's by scripture. And not everybody's going to agree with me on this. It's just my interpretation, of course. Um, when people talk about how they love Jesus, how they love God, and all, because that's what they were doing in that conversation.
Mm.
And I said, okay, so let's talk about your love for that, not me. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about your love for God, for Jesus. And they're like, okay. I said, do you understand the definition of that love? And they're like, well, yeah, what I'm saying, I love people. No, 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 no. If you look at scripture, the Most High describes your concept of love to Him simply and plainly. You follow His laws and commandments. Done. That's how
Okay.
that's how you define your love
And
for
not only
God
that, when you're speaking on that, it's also putting nothing else
before Him.
before that. So it
That's
does. So
correct.
you're not going to have anything that interferes with that relationship. So
Exactly. No, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And those two things right there is how you define that. How you define that. And like you said, under those circumstances, there is no such thing as unconditional love.
right.
Because if there's conditions with him, then to be sure there's conditions with everybody else.
Exactly.
See,
Exactly.
we got to be
Yeah.
realistic about this.
And I have to like again, I have to thank Zero for that, for allowing me to, for not I won't say allow me, but the things that he says are so profound. It causes me to helps me to look at things in a different viewpoint,
Hmm.
um, an even more logical and practical stance to where I can understand it better. I like to say that a lot of times what you see was taught. It's taught that it only means this. It
Hmm.
never means anything else, and that's false. A lot of times when you see these scriptures, it's not relegated to only one meaning. It's spread across several different meanings and across several different problems, how and scenarios and how they apply to your life and
Oh,
how
absolutely.
they can apply to your decisions. So to relegate it to only one thing, it's doing the one thing that as believers, you're not supposed to do, which is you're limiting God,
Exactly.
essentially.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Um,
and and, and to add insult to injury, you know, The interpretations might be different. The executions may be different. But what matters did it produce the end results that the Most High is looking for? That's the key.
Mm.
So while you and I might talk about a particular scripture and we have two different takes on it,
Right.
and we might go about executing it differently, the real key at the end of the day is, did it live up to the standards that the Most High was looking for? You know, did we do no harm? You know what I'm saying? Did we do it, you know, for the right reasons and do the right thing? You know, because just because I go left and you go right doesn't mean we're not going to end up at the same place. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't get why people get into such heavy arguments like that, because at the end of the day, everybody's reading from the same stuff. You know what I mean? You know, it's been tweaked here and there and all that good stuff, but the end result is this, like, what's the word of phrase? Spirit of the law.
I think the one thing, the reason why everybody does that is simply because, especially when you're talking about black folks, I have to go with zero. Man, niggas are so emotional.
Yes. Yes. Well, we've all talked about that. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
there is no logical understanding to, or practical understanding to anything whatsoever. It's always, well, I should it should go this way because I feel this, I feel that. No, man, your feelings don't mean shit.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many streams I've seen. Zero's up there, man. He's just being practical. He's just laying down the stats, man. You know what I'm saying? This, you know, and they are just losing it. I mean, they are losing it.
They hate it.
Just because it's a fact doesn't mean it's true. I'm like, no, I did not just hear that. I did not just hear that. I'm like, oh crap.
Yes, because the only thing they care about are their feelings on the matter. It's not. That's why I said, you know, I mean, when you look at it, people don't change in the sense, really. The only thing that forces people to change is death. Peace, soul provider, peace. No, I like this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Punch you in the face.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's
and peace to you also, Brown Bird. But yeah, I mean, death seems to be the only thing that forces people to change, because now there's a severity to it. Now people see that they may have to actually pay for something with their own blood. It's the only thing that forces introspective thought. That's why I said, you know, people don't actually change really too much. The only thing that changes is their desires. I mean, they still want other people to actually have to pay for that sacrifice. They want to sacrifice someone else. They want them circumstances to change, but not them to actually change themselves. So, I mean, if you want that, you can't have anything. You can't have your circumstances change, because your mindset and how you approach things don't change either.
Yeah, here's a question, and your thoughts on it.
Okay.
As a people, I'm trying to phrase it right. As a people, everything we just said, and especially what you just said, from a cultural perspective, how do you think we got here? Because this level of emotionalism, where men are concerned, and I'm not saying we were never emotional, but the levels we're seeing now, I would say, kicked off 70s, 80s.
I would say long before that.
Why would you think? Why would you think that's the? I'm not disagreeing with your
right.
time.
No, I know you just want to.
But what do you think caused it? I guess is the question.
I think,
because in order to solve a problem, we have to first define it, and then after defining it, find out where it started. You know, scientific method. You know what I mean?
To be honest, like I said before, when I talk with Smooth, when I've looked at Jessica's content she does, and you know, a lot of the stuff they do, you know, and talk with other the Niger people, even Soul Provider, you begin to see patterns that once these people leave Africa and they get to civilized, higher advanced societies, man, niggas run wild.
So what you're talking
They
so what you're talking about is you can take the boy out of you can take the
you
boy
can
out of the
look, you
ghetto,
can
but you
take
can't
the
take the
hood.
ghetto
Yeah,
out of the
exactly.
hood.
I
Okay, all
mean,
right, gotcha.
I think there. I mean, I'm just gonna say. I mean, when you look at yourself and Zero, MOT, and others, Soul Provider, and others here that are
Hmm.
they're how intellectual in their thought process that they have. These individuals are set apart. Um, they're born with a type of perceptiveness that the average that I won't say the average, that most
Hmm.
are not. I mean, when you look at the culture, it just goes to show that. I mean, even whenever you take it back to what they want to call the motherland, style is more preferred over actual substance.
Well, yeah,
It
yeah,
takes
yeah.
certain individuals to show. It shows that certain individuals are going to show, hey, look, this style ain't everything.
Right,
This
right.
substance right here matters. So I think it's a combination of a natural. I know Zero will probably disagree when I say it's genetic. It's in the DNA. I don't know. For the most part, I think. And then the other thing is just the other thing too is it's culturally ingrained all the way back to Africa. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
because I would be with Zero, in the sense of debating whether or not it's genetic.
yeah, yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because looking at my family as a whole,
Hmm.
I could probably only name maybe one, two tops like me. So the genetic thing kind of goes out the window. The cultural aspect though has more bearing in my mind.
I see what you're
So
saying.
so I
Yeah, the
guess
culture influence is
yeah.
God. It's huge.
So I guess the question is what happens? How do people like you, MOT, Zero, Soul Provider, myself, etc., and so on, reach a point where we have the wherewithal to realize this is not the place to be. This is not how it's supposed to work, and then we get up and we walk our own path.
Man,
And I guess I asked that question because if it was possible to define or at least come close to figuring out what's the common denominator amongst us.
I think here's where I go. I think more will be able to, and why be my boy, a higher percentage will be able to learn to be that. But I think everyone you named, I would go back to New. When
I was
people
just
ask
thinking about him.
New,
I was just thinking
when
about him.
people ask New about um, about how long he's been MGTOW, his answer, it goes to the year he was born. So I
Yeah.
would say the individuals you named were born that way.
No, 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 no.
They were
That's that.
born being able to see that there is a problem and hold up. I can't keep going this way because it's not good.
No, no, and you're not off because, like I said, my cousin and his friends used to say the same thing. When it came to me, he said, "Man, you was just born different."
Yeah.
Um, so,
And hold
but
up, my bad. I would like to get Agon in there, so I'm just gonna say, hey,
oh,
Agon, you
I'm
can
sorry, I'm
unmute at
sorry.
any time. Thanks for coming on. You can unmute at any time to get in this conversation, brother.
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. Hey, Egon.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Keep going what you're saying. I'm gonna hop in at the end because I want to hear
Cool.
what I gotta say.
Okay. Who was it? You or me talking, Isaac?
You were talking. No, you were talking, Lawrence.
Oh, oh yeah. I was using my cousin and his friends where he said, that I was just born different, and I'm not saying there's no value in that. I'm not, but I'd like to believe there's more to it than just that. I'd like to believe, like I said, New Soul Provider, the rest of us. I'd like to believe there's some common denominator because we were all born in different environments. We were all born in different areas. So I'd like to believe it's more than just birth, if that makes sense. I because it's one of those things where if figuring out what it is that made us make the choices we did or walk that path, um, maybe it would be easier to find people of like-mindedness. or be able to narrow it down, because it can't just be birth, because each of us made choices in addition to being born. And some have went one way, some have went another way, but at the end of the day, we all ended up in the same direction on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
So I like I said, it's not meant to be a long drawn out conversation.
Yeah.
It was just something that popped in
No.
my mind, and I was wondering what your thoughts on it were.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of, but I ain't gonna lie, I start there. But Aegon,
I I already talked about this, and like I kind of gotta agree with Judge that it's the environment, but I don't want to put it the ego to think that it's like it's an intangible factor that makes us different, but it's got to be something else. I just can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. That's
environment does matter. I agree, it does matter.
Yeah. It all does.
Yeah, that's why I say I think it's multiple, but I think that I don't know, there are certain people that just have an awareness to where, man, forget what I've been taught and what I've been seeing, and that niggas been propping up to be great. Man, this shit ain't right.
Yeah, it's not right.
I mean, whenever you have those people that are in the middle of that environment, that realize, man, this shit ain't working out at all. Y'all old niggas been doing this shit forever, and the shit ain't got no better. It's gotten worse.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think everything is a contributing factor. I do. I think being born different. I think the fact of where you were born, because like I said, each of us have been born in different places. Some of us hood, some of us suburbs, some of us middle class, some of us lower class.
Mm-hmm.
So economics, plays a part as well, and a variety of other things. But that's what's I think what's got running in the back of my head. Even with all those differential variables, which all play a part, there still has to come a moment where the individual themselves, regardless of birthright, regardless of location, regardless of economic status, something said click, and it was off to the races. And I'm trying to figure out what that moment is. What is that thought process that makes that switch turn for us? Because like I said, being born different is only part of it. We still have to make decisions. Because
Yes.
I've known people who were born different, but as they grew up, they just fell right in line and kept doing all the stuff that we already know wasn't working. So it's got to be more than just being born different.
Yes.
And I guess that's
I
what
agree.
I'm trying to figure
I
out.
agree. And I think the other thing too, all of the people we named, including Aegon, the other thing I think that I've noticed is that we do enjoy knowledge in a sense to make ourselves better. So I mean, you're talking about people, no matter what it may be of read, but I mean, it might be the Encyclopedia Britannica, but we've read something other than just a basic than what we got from school.
So what you're saying is, and if I'm wrong, correct me. So if I'm understanding you correctly? So your point is that, and I can see this being possible too. We question everything.
Yes, we have a desire for more. We have a desire to learn more, to understand more, from what I see. And I've had someone question me, say that that they heard that people that read are smart. I think it's more along the lines that people that read have amassed more information to absorb. So I mean, we have more information, I guess, to be able to be smarter.
For a more holistic approach to looking at things and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, we've pulled information from different sources, from different things. And the other thing too is that the other thing that I look at is that it seems to be that we have an ability to have a logical approach to how we look at things. Whereas others, it's rooted in emotion instead of a practical sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
That's why I said too, being born to be able to look at it like that too. But not only were we just born to be able to do that, but we chose to do so too. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
gone, my bad.
I think I think the best way for us to go about it, I mean, be a cool little experiment is like go piece by piece of like our upbringing to go to think this way. I mean, or not think this way, or basically make these reactions because, and we can start by small stuff like this. Has everybody here on the panel or in the chat had periods like where you were alone and you had to think a lot of this stuff out
Yes.
at whatever age, and there was nobody else you could talk to?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
the thing is, I chose solitude. You know, that's what I'll say in a minute. You know, I don't have the people skills, so you know, I've always valued my solitude. I mean, for the most part, even when I went through school, man, I pretty much wanted to go through as a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to notice me. I didn't want to be bothered. I just wanted to do my own little thing and be merry about it.
Yeah.
So I guess what we could say is, you know, I guess put a 1 in the chat if you had a substantial amount of solitude, and then put a 2 if you didn't.
Yeah. And the thing with me, it was a little bit of both. Because I enjoyed my solitude. I always did. I remember my grandmother talking to me about that. She said I was like that since about 5 or something like that. Um, but also I was forced because, again, with the sheer amount of ridiculousness that went on in my family, I made a decision I wasn't going to be part of that. So I chose, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of both for me. It could have worked out, whereas I got older, I might have came out of it. But seeing the stuff I was seeing, I was like, oh no, I'm okay with just where I'm at. So, um, you know, so like I said, for me, it's a little bit of both.
I think with me, I was forced into solitude due to the fact that I didn't have any relatives my age like that lived around me or anything or at all in my family. I'm like the only boy of my generation, and there's no girls. I also had friends here and there, but it seemed like I thought a little bit different than they did, you know. But like, and the thing is, I always, you know, hungered for like a big family because I always loved the idea of it. You know what I mean? Have brothers to basically protect you and basically bother you, but basically learning from people that look like a generation ahead of you, 2 generations and stuff like that. But you know, but that's all just like in theory. So I kind of I enjoyed my isolation, but I also wanted a family. So I wanted to have my isolation period and also be my family when I wanted to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Speaking, yeah, it does. Speaking as somebody who was the oldest, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and see, for me, I was the youngest of my dads that I know of, and you know, I just never had a personal desire for a family, really. You know, I enjoyed my my solitude. I enjoyed thinking differently. You know, it was something that I took pride in, and so you know, I got into different sources of entertainment and things that, you know, others, you know, as far as in Black America, you know, on a regular didn't. So, which, you know, I really didn't care. You know, I just enjoyed what I enjoyed, and that was it. You know, there were a few things, you know, of course, I enjoyed that others did. You know, as far as basketball and
Yeah.
sports and different things like that. You know, of course, but for the most part, I enjoyed my solitude. So I learned how to get along by myself. I learned how to value the time that I had with myself and what I could do to enjoy that time to bring me some peace and bring me peace and comfort in it. So, but you know, I get what you're saying. I just never personally experienced a lot of things that y'all did. So,
Yeah, because for me, so see, for me, I was fine up until a point, until I took those 2 L's.
mm,
The first one was I bought into the propaganda of wife, children, live that life, white picket fence, yada yada yada.
mhm.
Um, and the second L was I was trying to floss. I was trying to create a family and have a family and show my birth family how it's supposed to be done. So you see what I'm saying? So I went into it with the wrong concepts. You know, you go into having a wife and children, et cetera, and so on, because you believe that's your purpose. You believe that's what you want to do. You want to create a legacy, et cetera, and so on. Not because you want to prove a point to somebody else that they did it wrong, so you can show them how to do it right. Which I guess kind of goes back to what Marco was saying last week.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. For me, I took two L's. I got to take two L's on that, because it was part that, and it was the other part that everybody said, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to work. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. So, you know.
Ooh. And to point out what New was saying here, some people don't know how to be by themselves as a grown adult. I would say a lot of people don't know how to be by themselves as a grown adult, because the simple fact they
Yeah.
never learned as a child.
Yeah, I love it, man. I do. I mean, I absolutely love it. I like, even right now. Yeah. Look, between the divorce and my daughters, man, I get them out of this house as much as possible. So, I enjoy the time. And I remember somebody had said something to me that's kind of brutal. I said, actually, it's not. I've done my part. I've literally done my part. Everybody's grown. Everybody's trained. I've got my legacy in place. They're okay. It's me time now. I'm going back to how it was when I was younger and what I enjoyed the most, and that's being alone. You know, coming up on streams, hanging out with you guys, talking for a little bit, catching up on my reading, getting my work done. It's a beautiful thing, and the peace of mind alone is worth it.
Man. Yeah, I have to agree there. And that's one thing I want to say, man, the one thing, the main thing that I've enjoyed about this space, and a lot of the well, I won't say a lot, the channels that I frequent, is I've enjoyed being able to have these reflective, introspective conversations with men of quality minds. It's Man, it's such a refreshing thing to know that there are more out there who think about these things, who understand and see that, man, shit is fucked up.
Yeah. Well,
So
like I've said many a times before, man. Again, thanks to you, because like I said, I learned about all the guys we talking about from you. If it wasn't for you, man, you know what I'm saying, I still be sitting here just losing my mind. You know what I mean?
wow, man, and well, thank you, and I got to thank a lot. I think to be honest, when I came in and found these guys, to be honest, a lot of them that I found what started it was actually when I went over to Game Changers, and I found him because of Black Ram when they had him on, and over at Game Changers is where I found Kudos at the time, and then Zero. I think, and that was before I even realized that you didn't even have to have a channel for somebody to actually follow you on here. I was like, what? Got somebody following me? And, I just had fun in the chat with Zero and those guys, and then I started listening to his stuff, and I really enjoyed it. So then it transferred to Agon and others, and I had listened to MOT before from different stuff, and subscribed over there. And so, all of these guys meeting through there, and it just kind of ended up being from there, and then being frequent on Zeros and stuff that he's got, and then Agon. That's pretty much that's what I like to call that's the caveman area, man cave area.
Yeah.
We just have we just sit around and have those good discussions that go anywhere, and then Zeros, everybody's been coining that the R&D department. That's where we
yeah.
that's where we figure shit out.
No, man. Like I said before, man. I've thrown that out in real life, man. People be asking me questions. I'm like, I got to check with my R&D department, and I'm talking about Zero when I say it every time too. But
I call Zero lab coats.
Lab coat. Lab coat.
That's the lab coat channel.
Oh man, but yeah, it's and it's interesting, and not to be rude, but to turn it back to the topic with Joseph's brothers, it's interesting that having so many of them, they weren't able to come together like that to talk as quality men, to talk as men of value, to talk as men of intellect, critical analysis, thought processes, to come up with something better than let's kill our brother. Because that's such a base emotional aspect. It's just, it's just insane to think, you know. And again, like you said earlier, that plays into Black culture.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. It does show it that jealousy there for I mean for something as simple as freaking clout from your daddy.
yeah, yeah, or being upset over a dream.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, seriously.
Well, I mean, but it started clout from daddy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But
That's where it started. Clout
yeah,
from daddy. And now when you transfer it to Black America, clout from bitches.
yes, yes, yep. And that's where it's at now.
Yeah.
Or,
That's where it's at now.
or also clout from ideas that basically you you that you living through, that basically maybe you not they're only in there because of your circumstances and not because what you really want to do. That's really because what you really want to do deep down inside, because you don't really know. Because like talking to Lawrence's point about basically like how he tried to have the family to show off, and also basically he gave into the propaganda. I kind of did the same thing with the fact that basically I wanted because I didn't have. So it was all off theory rather than no no, I didn't even research it like that. I just was like, to be a father, to be in a family, get a job, work, get with the woman that I want, and I'm gonna make it happen. And it's way more factors than that. And I was gonna force my way through it. I was gonna alpha my way through it. And you can try to you basically forced an idea on yourself, and it never, and then I'm gonna say it never works out, but basically you don't know if you want that, because like it's going because that's like my answer, a little bit of my answer to what Marco was saying, is that like, is this what I want? Is this what I want? Like I know I love basketball, but why I love basketball is because it was a game I played when I was a kid. I left it, came back to it, left it, came back to it, and it still gives me the same response. Why did I get married and have a child? Is like because my childhood wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Hmm.
And so I tried to make it there. I tried to basically make my childhood through making a childhood for my actual child, but those are two different things.
Yep,
Those are way two different things. I can't raise myself. And I
yep,
think that I could just, and basically I'm just feeding my own ego, regardless of I'm taking care of my daughter or not, and which I am, which I am, and will continue to, but that was an ego driven type jump. And then I have to deal with the consequences of that.
yep, yeah, yeah. Like I said, that was one of my issues. That's why I said I just took that L, man, and called it a day. Because I mean, because it's one of those things where my personal hopes and desires is that younger brothers don't have to wait as long to figure it out as I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because your life should be filled with happiness. It should be filled with joy. It should be filled with doing things that you want to do, whether it's being married, not being married, whatever. But it should be filled with desires and joys that you specifically chose for yourself, not because society told you to do it, not because our culture is playing games with you mentally, not because women are messed up across the board, but because it's what you want to do. And I don't want, and like I said, it took me late 40s before I started really paying attention to it.
Mm.
Then it took me to about 51 before I got it.
Wow. Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And that's been my life. I've been a late bloomer and everything, unfortunately, but that's the case. But that's what I don't want for you guys. I don't, because now that I figured it out, I'm happy. But there's a bittersweet sorrowness to it, because at the same time, I also have to remember I now have more years behind me than I do ahead of me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Gotcha.
hey, New, how you doing, man?
Yeah, welcome to the
What's up,
panel, New.
fellas? Can y'all hear
No,
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
no.
Never been on StreamYard too much before.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. This first time on mine, but thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah, man. I be trying to get on sometimes, but Sundays, because I was working 6 days a week, was
I
Sunday
got
I had to take a day off, but I still be in your chat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I see it. If people come up, man, it's good. It's good. Some good conversations over here, man. You know what I'm saying? These are two of the frequent channels that I visit, you and Agon's, as far as
thanks.
hopping on some stuff. But and I appreciate you saying what you said to me, as far as I said I was MGTOW, born MGTOW,
Yeah.
and we had that conversation. And
Yeah.
then, like Lawrence said, he's in his 40s, sometimes it's bitter, sometimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is we just have to deal with the choices that we made.
Exactly.
And that's the good thing. Like, if I die today or tomorrow, I know that I still lived a good life, even with the bad choices that I made.
Yeah.
That's all I really had to say right now.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, and like I said, I don't want people to think that what I said, it means I'm unhappy. Uh, I think actually it's the farthest thing from it. But like I said, for me, being a proper older brother or elder or whatever term we're using nowadays, I don't know, but I just don't want it to be that late for everybody else. You know what I mean? Because we
Right.
still, I mean, we've talked about other brothers in here my age and older who haven't even figured it out yet, or they have figured it out and they just don't care and going to continue on the path. I don't want any younger brother to have to go through that. I don't want that to be an option. I don't want it to be a choice. I don't want it to be forced upon them. None of that. I if I had the blessing of having someone who gave all of it to me right up front when I was younger, this would be a whole different kind of conversation. A whole different conversation.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have no kids. My business is good, but it would be great because I would have been focusing on nothing but that. I wouldn't be sitting here planning a shelter now. I would have did it 30 years ago. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it would have been so radically different if those older brothers that I grew up with gave it to all of it to me, not bits and pieces, or not giving me anything. And I don't. And I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. I was gonna say something right after that too.
Yeah, no. I'm good. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, because you had that and I didn't, I think that didn't make me want to do what I didn't have, and I think that made me see shit because I was by myself. Like, I have a younger brother who's 11 or 12 years younger than me, but I didn't really grow up with him.
Same with me. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's my half brother. I didn't really meet him till I was 12 and he was 1, but it allowed me to see what people were going through, even with the big ass family and like the bullshit that they were going through. So not everything, like when you have a big ass family, is gonna lead you into that path, or to that water. And sometimes that water could be real shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. Some people love the big family thing. I've never had it before, so I think that's what makes me and who I am and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing with me is, like I said, I again, going off listening to my cousin and his friends, I think it was the same with just born to be alone, born to be MGTOW or whatever. But like I said, I bought into the propaganda.
Right.
And I did in other words, I did contrary to what my gut instinct told me. You know what I'm saying? I did contrary to what I knew already from what I saw from my birth family. and I still, like an idiot, disregarded that and bought into the propaganda.
Right.
And that's what I don't want brothers to do. I don't want them to bend to pressure. If they're going to bend, then bend in a direction that suits them for their purposes, not somebody else's.
Yeah. That's a great point there. And I think one of the things is, like new in a sense, I don't know, I was born, I guess, I was born this way. I was born to, be able to go my own way on things. I won't say that, I've never, made the mistake of doing things because I don't know if cloud is the right word, but that in the long run it wasn't because I completely wanted to, but I made a couple of those mistakes in my life, doing things that others wanted, but I learned from those, learned quick enough anyways. A lot of them happen later, but it is what it is. But I think that one of the problems, is, man, and Zero and them talk about all the time, all these old people that are pushing the younger generation of guys to fuck up. Man, this shit gotta quit. It was another reason why I wanted to do this channel, man. Because one of the things I've always said is, man, you can learn something from anybody, even a fool. Now it may be what not to do, but it's still something to learn. And the one thing I've noticed is that, man, all these old ass niggas, they don't think that they have anything to learn from any damn body else. The first thing they want to say is, well, you only been in the world 15 minutes. I'm twice as old as you. Well, damn shit. Evidently, I must be smart if I didn't have to do the dumb shit you had to do to figure this shit out.
I can't tell you how many times that I've been in a room and heard an older person say that, and I had to shut them down. Because to me, in my mind, it's one of the most disrespectful things you can say to a human being. And the same thing applies in reverse. Those of us who are older in the right set of mind do have something valuable to offer. But we have to do it with the caveat of understanding that younger people still have to make their own path and do it their way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you sit there and you diminish somebody before the conversation even starts by telling them they have no value just because of age, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's no, I mean that. I mean, you can literally take this snippet that I just said, put it on your phones, and play it for anybody, anytime, anywhere. Because I'll stand by that. I'll stand by that to my dying day. Because if that's the case, everything I've learned in the last 6 to 8 months would have no validity to it. Because if that's the case, every conversation you and I have had, Eisen, would mean nothing. The advice you gave me a week or a half ago, would mean nothing. When I talk to Zero, what he gives me, what Man of Tomorrow gives me, none of it would mean. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Everybody has knowledge. Everybody has value to some degree. Like you said, even if it's a negative aspect, you learn what not to do.
Yeah,
right.
In the future.
That is knowledge, though.
Yeah, exactly. But when older brothers come in here with that nonsense, it just, I don't understand it. I truly don't understand. Look, I've learned stuff from 5-year-olds, dude. And I'm being honest about that.
and it's simply, and here's the thing, my point on it. It ain't just the old niggas here.
No, it's
There's
not.
3 times as many you gonna run into in your everyday life out there.
Exactly. That's why I said when I'm in a room, I've literally been physically present in rooms where just people gathered in the whole 9 yards, and a brother saying something, and the other brother's like, "Oh, come on, man, you don't know what you're talking about." And I'm looking at him like, why would you say that? And then the brother reiterate his point. It's like, man, you too young, man. You don't know nothing, man. You ain't lived no life. And I'm like, wait, what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. and then I'll get in an argument with the older person. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a stupid thing to say to somebody.
And so, my statement to them always is, so who's the bigger fool? The fool or the one following the fool? So just because I don't want to follow your foolish advice,
Yeah.
It don't make me the fool, but the one who gonna do that foolish shit is an even bigger fool.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, it makes absolutely no sense. Look, man, like we were talking about earlier, I know how to take computers apart. I know how to upgrade them, rebuild them in the whole 9 yards, and that's great. That's a good thing to know. But I'm not stupid enough to sit here and think that zero can't teach me something.
Well,
I'm being seriously.
it's the you can. Well, some people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can teach
If
an
they
old
want.
dog new tricks. Yeah, I mean they have to be willing to learn, but once you ask a question, that is called knowledge because you are receiving some type of information. What you do with that knowledge is up to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's you have to do your due diligence to gather more information.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
I mean that you know.
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers are stupid though. Who knows?
Yeah.
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 You got so many just want to look like they motherfucking smart, not
Yeah.
actually be it.
Yeah. Exactly. Because like I said, I like I said, man, I've seen it. I've seen it from both sides. I've seen it with with older brothers and sisters doing that dumb nonsense. I remember when I first moved here years ago, and the first lady I met was well, not first, but she was one of the first on the block, Miss Matt, an older black woman, church going. So you already know where this is gonna go. I'm outside in my yard, and like I said, I hadn't been here maybe 3 4 months by then. So I'm building a path, trying to beautify the house. You know what I mean? And she drove by in her car because she lives like 2 3 houses down, and she stopped in the middle of the street, rolled her window down, called out to me. So I'm thinking she's gonna say hi and introduce herself, and which she did. And then she immediately proceeded to tell me how I was dressed outside working in my garden.
What?
I'm like, excuse me? She said, well, you're out here barefoot. I said, because I'm working in dirt and grass. I like the feel of it. Well, you shouldn't be out here barefoot. You need to go inside. And I said, with all due respect, ma'am, I don't know you. You don't know me. And my mama don't even tell me what to do. So why don't you just keep on driving and we'll leave it at that. And she never spoke to me since. Now, mind
Your
you,
property?
yeah, it was my property. Yes,
Oh,
yeah, it's my house. It's my house.
just smacked her.
3 bedroom, 2 bath, my house. It's a 2 car garage. It's my house. Um, and she never spoke to me again. And I think she saw me. I want to say it was around February. She was walking, and she was walking pretty weird. And she waved to me, so I waved back. Just civil courtesy. And coming to find out, like 2 3 months later, she passed away from cancer.
Trying to
And
be nice till they
yeah,
die.
yeah, and she left the house to the church. Well, she left it to her son to give to the church, and he came by after she passed, and he wanted to talk to me, and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "From what I understand, with everybody in the neighborhood, you're the newest person to move in the neighborhood." I said, "Yes." He said, "My mother talked about you a lot." I said, "Really?" Because I didn't really talk to her much. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, she did. She talked about you a lot. She liked you a lot. I said, oh, okay. And he's like, you didn't know? I said, I only spoke to her twice. In all the years I've been here, I only spoke to her twice. And he looked at me. He said, no, she really liked you. She said you were a man's man. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and that's supposed to mean what? He said, from what she said to me, you didn't take no shit. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. Well, yeah. If that's the case, yeah, that's true.
yeah. You
So I'm
told her
assuming,
what was up, and she
yeah.
took it from there.
So I said, I'm assuming she told you about our first introduction to each other. He said, absolutely. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said she was pretty impressed by that. She said, there's not many men who just tell women where they belong and keep them in their place. I said, so your mother was really old school. And he said, yeah. I said, so why is she coming in here with that feminist nonsense? And he's like, I don't know. I said, I do. Church. He started laughing. He started laughing. He started laughing. And
Booyah.
he shook my hand. I told him sorry for his loss, and that's the last time I saw him. I mean, he drove by the other day to check on the house, but didn't get a chance to interact with him. But this is the black community we're talking about. We're elders. They know better. They just won't do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
It's the old dumb dog tactic.
yeah, because she knows damn well, because she at the age she knows damn well in the 40s and 50s she would never roll up on no man like that, like she did me. It wouldn't have happened. It just would not have happened. Not no strange man she don't know. You know what I mean? So
but that's why I like to what Zero said. I mean, once these women got the vote, it was done dollar.
yeah, absolutely,
It was
absolutely.
done dollar because that's what they wanted to do, was be able to have the right to run roughshod, and then there not be any consequences for them doing so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I tell them all the time. You know damn well if this was a different time, you wouldn't be doing this. You'd get your ass handed to you, and your husband wouldn't do shit for you because he would beat your ass when you got home too because you were out of line.
Yeah, I wouldn't even care enough to even beat their ass. I would just leave them out in the cold with nothing.
Either way,
That's even to me. That's an even better lesson.
yeah. I mean, either way, whichever one you want to choose. But like I said, at the end of the day, especially again going back to the older generation, they know better. They just bought into the propaganda.
Well,
Because like a 70-year-old woman has lived long enough to know you do not approach men like that.
That's Silent Generation, right?
Say again.
70. That's what Silent Generation.
Solid generation was that?
No, silent.
Oh, silent. No, that's not the silent generation.
That's Boomer.
no, yeah, Boomer. That's Boomer.
Yeah, that's Boomer. Yeah, that's part of my.
Before that, you have the greatest generation, I believe.
Right.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the generation my dad was in, and then before greatest is the silent, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right. I got it mixed up.
Yeah, but low mid 70s. That's me. That's my group. So that's boomers all day, every day.
Yeah,
and to be honest about it, they're the worst of the bunch, and I gotta admit that. I gotta admit that for what it is.
I thought you was Gen X.
It's weird because depending on whose stats you're looking at, I'm the bottom end of the boomers, but on somebody else's stats, I'm the top end of Gen X. It just depends.
How old are you again?
I'm coming up on 54.
54. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Every other stat says that I'm a exennial, but all the other ones say that I'm a Gen X.
Yeah. That's like I said. It just depends on whose stats you're reading. I'm just going with what I've always known growing up because they didn't start changing the ratio until like the 90s or something like that.
Yeah,
90s, early 2000s. So I'm not playing games with them moving numbers. I'm sticking with what I was told. So.
Damn.
But either way, it don't make a difference. The boomer generation is fucked. I mean, whether I'm part of it or not, it's still a fucked up generation. So, but
they're all fucked.
Yeah.
I
mean, they made it tough. They made it beyond tough, to be honest with you.
And it continued to perpetuate the fallacies of what happened before. They didn't care to correct it because hell, everything it was more about getting bitches.
Mm-hmm. And the running joke I tell people all the time is that if you really want to see how fucked up the boomer generation is, look at how they started and what they claim they fought for, and then look at the end result of how they're living. It's absolutely contrary to everything they say.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I tell people that it's cool to hear what people have to say, but watch to see if the actions complement it. Because they have to work in conjunction. If not, then you got somebody who's lying to you. Period. Point blank. You know what I mean? So, you talk about free this, free that, free this, free that, yada yada yada. Okay, but that's not what you're doing. You've made it a point to amass every single penny this country has to offer, and then you want to be out here crying about the downtrodden. Okay, we'll give them the money you took back.
Yeah, you can't claim you fixed the shit when you actually helped break the shit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a hot mess.
Yo, Ivan.
Yo, what's up?
this still pertains to the topic. Do you
let me see the topic.
Oh, you want to stay right here? No, you want to stay right
No,
here?
no, 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 no. I was my bad. I was speaking out loud.
You could.
No, you can say something. I come in after you.
No, no, no. Go ahead. No, I had to look at the topic. That's what I was saying to myself, but it came out loud.
Oh, I thought you said change the topic. But the Asian fella that I showed you on my channel,
Right.
he reinvigorated me back to work out, and it wasn't for like the reasons if you just look when I showed you videos because he's an in shape dude. He's getting it in. It's for the fact that during one of those videos when he was taking care of his mom and showing that he was saying how I'm sorry I'm breathing weird. I was doing burpees.
Okay.
He was saying like how the reason why he does it is for mental because his mom lets him know because she was strong, fit, just like his dad was, that whatever you do now, it's all gonna go away anyway. But it's how you live your life right now. So he does it for the mental, and he knows is everything in the flesh is gonna go away,
Right.
even how he looks. And he reinvigorated me like to recalibrate my brain because you know how I talk about walking. I haven't done it in a while, and about 2 days ago, I took like a 16-mile walk, like forward and back. It was 8 miles there, 8 miles back to Rutgers Camden to basically break myself out this shell. And then I came stumble on this page, and I get and then what really like epitomize what he was talking about is like this verse from Method Man on this song called Wu Gambinos. Is it okay if I read it out? I'm not gonna curse.
Go ahead.
He was like, this is like a verse, and he says, "Time to forfeit your crown and lead the grounds. There's a new sheriff in town holding it down. It's 2-shot holster, 6-shot smoker, wanted dead or alive, bounty on the poster. Wild in the West, student of my culture, and life is the test. Hold up, let an inward catch his breath. I'm still paying dues, and the last one is death." When and then like his situation made me rethink about like my future, you know.
Well, I need some help. I'm sorry, Agon. I don't mean to cut you off, but rap is not my forte. So, as crazy as it sounds, I need you to translate what you just read for me.
Look, he needs to speak Japanese with him.
Okay. I swear, as the Most High is real, man.
Translate Japanese.
I'm not trying to be funny. I got most of it, but I really didn't get the point. I really didn't.
Well, basically, he's talking about like basically life is a cycle. Because he said, time to forfeit the crown and leave the grounds. There's a new sheriff in town holding it down. Like basically, he's the new guy in town. And then he says, 2-shot holster, 6-shot smoker, wanted dead or alive, bounty on the poster. That means he's handling work. Then he says, I'm wild in the West, a student of my culture. And life is the test. Hold up. So basically, he did all that stuff and he proved himself. He said, let an inward catch his breath, because basically he did all this work and then he getting back to himself. And he said, I'm still paying dues. That means he's still working. And the last one is death. So basically, it goes back to the beginning and he's giving it to somebody else. Because basically, life, you're going to have to pay the price. And to bring it to what Eisen's scriptures were talking about, the brothers didn't want to pay the price, and because they tried to skip out on handling their responsibilities with their brother when they should have been raising him to be the great man he should have been, but they sold him into slavery, and even like they basically had to be faced with death to do the right thing, and that's how most people are. And to the young people that's listening, then you can't get away from this. Everything you run away from is going to come back to you. Only thing that's going to get you is death. You got to die to get out of this. So no matter what you do, no matter what you got away with, you cheated on this, you stole from this person. The only thing that's going to get you out of that is death. Period. Because you're going to have to pay the piper, and might as well pay it sooner or later because it's going to be worse if you don't get it out the way. And it shows that they sold their brother into slavery and didn't even have enough guilt and shame to be like, yo, and come to him like come to this. They should have came to him with like in grievance because they did wrong, but they didn't have it until somebody put a blade to their necks.
Okay, cool. Well, not being funny. Thank you for that, because I didn't get any of that until you broke it down. I get it now.
It's okay. Look, I'm gonna be asking you to break down rock lyrics when I crack open my foreign rock stuff, man.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Um, but but going to what you said, yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with it. But that's always the case, unfortunately. Especially for our people, man. They can't see forward. They either they can or they refuse to, because it's all about the immediate gratification as opposed to the possible consequences.
Oh, I got it. Remember when I asked that first question about and can you answer this? Like, have you ever spent long times by yourself and been cool with it, and then
Oh, of course.
and just think about life, and you've been happy in that circle, or you've been happy in that mode?
Yeah, I mean that's why I choose to stay alone, so I can do that.
Hmm.
Okay, Lawrence and Eisen said the same thing, and I agree. I agree with it. And Marco also said it. Zero does it a lot. Cease does it a lot. It's a lot of cats that do it around a lot, so we all have that in common. Now, the other thing that we have in common, that I believe that we have in common, that I'm asking this question, we all know what's going to happen at the end.
Mm-hmm.
We all know we're not going to be here. So basically, we trying to get as much stuff we can get done in the right amount of time before we're off this planet, and not do anything, not waste any steps. And that's what Lawrence was talking about. How our people is that they want to do a whole bunch of fancy dance moves instead of getting straight to the point and doing what we need to do to basically hand off the torch to the next generation. They want to look good.
Well, that was Eisen. He was talking about
Well,
style. He was talking about style over
Yeah,
substance.
that's like, that's my bad. That's I. And Lawrence is basically like we can't see the bigger picture. A lot of us, a loner, like loners, when we want to be, we see the bigger picture because we give our brains a chance to catch up to what we seen. Get away
yeah.
and let it flow, and then be like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, and it's like, oh, and it's kind of like a superpower. Like you get back around people, you get back by yourself, and it's like, dang, I'm upgrading every time. And then the beautiful thing about this space is that you get around brothers like you, and it kind of triples your productivity. But then also you still got to get away from this space to recalibrate your brain. Also, that's why we need to spend some time away
Yep.
to think some of these ideas out.
Yeah, and that's
What-
actually that's exactly what New had to break down for me on your stream about a week and a half ago.
Did you
Him and
guys ever
Zero.
watch? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I was saying you and Zero had to break that down for me.
Oh, okay. You guys ever watch White Man Can't Jump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
Okay. The first time that what's his name? Wesley Snipes drove Woody Harrelson. No. Woody Harrelson drove Wesley Snipes to his place, right? After they played ball.
Okay.
Right? And what did he tell him? He said, oh, my bad. He said, you got this chain on your neck, right? How much does that set your family back? He said, you'd rather look good and lose than look bad and win. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of that, that's why me being, sort of a lone wolf and looking at motherfuckers, I can see that. Instead of taking the L to do better, you'd rather fucking look good and be a fucking loser.
Yeah, I can honestly say I never suffered that. I can honestly say I never worried about looking good ever. It never mattered to me.
It's up,
Like,
it's up and down for me.
yeah, the only thing, like I said, the only thing I suffered from where I have to take the L's is the thing when it came to marriage. That's it. Outside of that, I don't care. I don't care. As a matter of fact, you had to square me up one time in the chat where you said I share too much. because yeah, that was you. Yeah, because you were saying you were worried because I share too much, and sometimes there's brothers here that you just can't share with. Yeah, that was you in the chat. I remember it. Which, for the record, thank you.
I appreciate it.
No, seriously,
there's so much shit that I've been through in my life, man, that just makes me just kind of guarded, but I can talk about certain things and put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So people can like see who this person is behind either avatar or on the phone.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I try not to be a hypocrite either, because I know that I can't sit up here and tell somebody to be something that I'm not. You know, you know what I mean? Like share your shit, and some people are gonna take it as either a negative or a positive. But you know, certain things that you share is actually pretty good. You know what I mean? Like it'll give people some type of information.
Yeah,
So they can do whatever they want with it.
yeah. If I'm correctly, I believe it was that day with Smooth and Checking. I think it was
Yeah,
that day. I think it was
yeah,
that day.
I couldn't have did it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was that day. Well, it's my thing was we're gonna have a disagreements because we're all different people. That's a given. We're not gonna see eye to eye on everything. But what we can do is express it and interact with each other better than what I was seeing. That's why I did it. That's the only reason I did it. Because like I've said before, other people are watching and listening. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, if we can't even get it together for ourselves, they're just gonna walk around thinking we're jokes. That's all. It was no more, no less than that. Um, and there's got to be a better way to say what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially when emotions get involved. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, opinions are like assholes, though.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
you have to know the history of why people are going through shit, because there's always three sides to a story. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So like me personally, I mean me personally, uh, I've been around a lot of people, man, where they're begging you to smack the shit out you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
and I'm there for that. But I mean, you did good that day. You know what I'm saying? If it was me, I couldn't say that I did the same shit.
But that's okay. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's it's both learned and practiced. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't expect everybody to know how to do it, but I do expect everybody to try.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Because it does nothing but make us better men. Because in the process of at least trying, you're teaching yourself to hear the other person you're going at. It forces you to pause and like listen to what they have to say. Now, like you said, what they do with it after that is on them.
Right.
But at least you approached it appropriately. We've got enough outside influences that are always at us. Always. We don't need to add to that. Um, so that's why, because if you remember, checking for you was getting it when it was time for him to stop. He pretty much stopped. Smooth was still emotional, so he would talk over, yell at, yada yada yada. That's why one of the last things I had to do was something like, dude, does it look like you're losing?
He wasn't
Yeah.
getting it. He wasn't getting it. I'm gonna tell you what, Lawrence. He wasn't getting it.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
And I'm
Like I
gonna tell
said,
you,
I don't expect it to figure out the first time, but at least there was an attempt,
you
and
can't
hopefully,
say he's getting it when he just because he stopped talking, but then when it's his turn to talk, just come in with the ad hominems, loser, and all that type of
oh,
bullshit.
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I see what you're saying. That's not what I'm talking. What I'm talking about is at least trying the process.
Oh,
He was still dead wrong on everything else. Because, like I said, if I remember correctly, you were there, Agon was there, and I said right out the gate, there will be no name calling, there will be no ad hominems. You were going to talk like men, and both of them did it. To be fair, um, but well, actually, no, that's not true. Smooth was cursing. He wasn't name calling, to the best of my knowledge. But every time checking for you spoke, he literally threw out an ad
he
hominem
did the ad
every
hominem.
time,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
every
care about
single
the
time.
cursing. I say let it go. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I know what cursing means. Sometimes it means you can't find the words, but sometimes this is what it means to really get into your thick skull.
yeah.
But I don't have to actually call you a name.
Yeah. That's my point. That's why I said Smooth was cursing across the board. That's why he didn't bother me. The only thing he bothered me with is that he kept interrupting, and that wasn't going to be beneficial. But
Yeah.
when it came to checking for you, he didn't interrupt, but he kept using ad hominems. So at the end of the and another reason I did it that way is because here's the thing: by the time it was said and done, The only thing that happened is exactly what was supposed to happen. Everybody saw in live time how this individual is. And you can't beat that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could talk your game all you want to, but everybody just sat here and saw live who you really are, how you really are, and what you're about. And that's a bonus, because that goes back to MOT about identifying motherfuckers. So that's at least that's what I took from it. But
Yeah.
but across the board, going back to what Aegon was saying with Joseph and black people and et cetera and so on, that's one of the things that I have to agree on. In that respect, there's no time to catch your breath, push down the emotions. You're not going to get rid of it because we're emotional creatures, but you have to push it down, and you have to, like Aegon said, you have to look at the bigger picture, and you have to understand that if I get into this, what is the long-term outcomes and consequences, and can I live with them? And if I can't, then I need to back off. And that's another thing, as especially as black men, we have a problem with. We don't know how to step down because for some reason there seems to be this thing where if we do, it makes us look weak. I think the complete opposite. I think it makes us look stronger, personally speaking, because at the end of the day, if we have a disagreement, no amount of arguing I do with you is going to make you change your position, because that's your position. So me arguing with you about it for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours does nothing but diminish me, because there could have been something I could have done more beneficial to that and just let you be who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just my thought process and how I go about it. But that's years of training and working in arbitration and mediation. So I got that. And like I said, even now, it's still difficult for me in a lot of cases. I mean, prime example, bring up platinum and watch what happens. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
You went off on him and Sir off in there. Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not perfect. I have my moments. You bring him up and watch me go straight ape shit. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it takes time. It takes practice. And like I said, I've been doing it since 93. Arbitration, mediation, stuff like that. Business, I'm perfect in business, no problem. And I use it a lot in personal life. But like I said, there are certain people in certain moments that even I lose it. You know what I mean? Who I just said, that chick from The Matrix. You know what I mean? I have my moments, man. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in any capacity, but I still try. And that's all I'm asking for. That's all I need. Because as long as we try, we're going to get better. In my opinion, because the last thing we want is for all of us to be like Joseph's brothers, because that's what being emotional, not being rational, and not thinking things through is going to get you. You're always going to work out of the most base emotional aspects, and generally when that happens, it's generally a negative. It's generally a negative, because for you to get emotional means something set you off. So it's always going to end badly at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what brotherhood comes into play, because if I was in smooth position, I would act the same way, but I wasn't. So that's why I was telling them, like, yo, you're not wrong. You just gotta be quiet. Cause like, yo, like I know how you feel. I know how you feel because I analyzed what he said, and I didn't do that before, and I'm sorry, but like I'm telling you as somebody that basically, because you'll be doing the same thing for me. You be like, yo, chill out, like you stop snapping, but you're not wrong. So that's why like you need a brother there for like some for the mirror, the reflection, like because everybody got somebody that it's hard to hold the emotions back on, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody got somebody. You need that person to be like, yo, just chill. You're not wrong. So let's ride this out. Okay, I got you. Because us being loners. Oh, this is another one. Us being loners. Have any of you guys ever been in a situation where everybody around you was lying and you knew they was lying?
Oh yeah.
And they didn't want to tell you the truth, but they treated you wrong for trying to pursue the truth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna say no to that. I don't think anybody's gonna say no to that.
And you know the other thing too that you find with a lot of these people, as far as them lying, they are so bought in on the lie. These motherfuckers don't know which way is up and which way is down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they lie so long that over a period of times, they actually believe it's truth. You
Yeah,
can actually, you can actually give them a lie detector test and they'll pass
yeah,
because they've lived with it so long, it actually became truth to them. I've seen that.
Not
yeah,
a compulsive liar.
Compulsive or
Not a
otherwise.
compulsive liar.
Yeah, I mean, they just buy into it so long, it just becomes ingrained as part of it. They literally fill the gaps in their head as if it's a real memory.
yes, yes. They believe in shit. They believe.
And it becomes like they rather lie, they rather disrespect you and lie, and you pursuing the truth than break friendships with people that basically that basically that basically then break friendships with basically people that are on that type of that basically are doing that, you know. So basically it's kind of it's two things. Basically they're lying to you, but they're also saying you are not worth telling the truth to, and then it makes you look at everybody like an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't think I'm worth, I know you lying, you know I know you lying, and I'm gonna have to eat this because y'all all in on this. So with that being said, how do I deal with y'all in the future?
You don't.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
it's too
that's
much
what
of
my
this.
answer. Yeah, that's what my answer was going to be.
I mean, or you could just feed them. Are they friends or are they acquaintances? That's the whole thing. You got to feed them with a long fucking spoon if they're acquaintances, and then if they're friends, of course you're going to be able to talk it out, and if they still continue to see it that way, then you already know where to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah,
was saying it depends. It depends, new. I'm saying it depends, new, because it's your journey and what you want to deal with. But just know, if it happens again, it's your fault. You know, this is what they did to you. So that's why I said, has there ever been time group, like basically a group, like a family or a group of friends that
Oh,
lied to
yeah.
you, and you be like, yo, why didn't you? And then basically you trying to find out the truth, and they're all just holding it back on you. That's why I
yeah.
like I might seem too emotional in my panel sometimes when I feel as if like if I'm having like a disagreement with Marco or Zero or somebody, and I'm asking everybody questions because it stems from my childhood of basically trying to get the right answers out of my friends, and basically they got cahoots. They like in cahoots about many things, and then I end up being right in the long run, and they don't tell me nothing. So that kind of like hurt my ego. I'm sorry if I did it to y'all on any panel. Is no ill intention in it. It's just that I'm just telling you where it come from, and basically being right amongst people that you like care about, but they just like they willing to just lie to you to your face just to keep their friendship going and say, like, no, this ain't right. We ain't gonna hold up. If our friendship gonna break up through a lie, then we shouldn't even be friends. But most people be like, no, let's just rock out the lie. It's like you think that little of me that basically you rather just keep a lie than just tell me the truth.
No, I think it goes deeper than that because I mean, let's be honest. We talking about black folks here. The black mentality is that of a female mindset for the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Women enjoy being lied to, so these niggas enjoy being lied to.
Yeah,
They the truth is too harsh for them to accept because it comes with the simple fact that they have to look in the mirror and admit to their own failures and admit to how much of a fuck up they are, which we know women are not going to do that. And so these niggas are conditioned to do the same thing.
yep. And for my 2 cents, it's 2 points. The first point is going back to what you were saying about being on your panel and stuff. You need to understand something. And for any other brothers out there listening, they need to understand this as well if they don't know. Here's the thing, Aegon. Regardless of how emotional you get on your panels with whoever it may be, understand that there's a camaraderie ship and a certain level of appreciation and love for you. Because if it was really that bad, they wouldn't come back. So there's a certain amount of respect for you that we know where you're coming from, even if you didn't have to tell us. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The second thing is is that going back to what Eisen was saying about Black people as a whole, it kind of goes back to a question Zero had asked me on his panel one time about, it was specifically about men. Pookie, Ray Ray, and older brothers, yada, 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 where he was trying to figure out why. And I had to break it down for him. It's the most basic motivating factor in our culture, fear. Fear is a powerful motivator, a powerful force for why people take the actions they do. You understand what I'm saying? Even when
you got to
you're
break down that fear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was about to do actually, because like I told Zero, it's a no, you're fine, you're fine. Like I told Zero, the fear can come from a variety of factors. Okay, if you're talking about women, it's exactly what Eisen said. They gotta wake up in the morning and realize they ain't the shit they think they are, and they gotta deal with that, regardless of what they tell us out in the real world. for certain types of Pookies and Ray Ray, it's the fact that without us being present, they know they're going to be left behind because they know they're not doing the work and we are. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across with the analogy properly. But yeah, but it's fear, and we all suffer from it. But especially in the Black community, everything for the most part, for the vast majority of Black people, they do their actions come from a place of fear. You like Azon said, like Eisen said, you got to break that fear down. You got to break it down to its core, and you got to start dealing with what the motivation is that's causing you that fear. Sometimes it's childhood, sometimes it's dumb choices you made, sometimes it's just whatever it is. But you have to understand, we've shared enough between all of us on who we are, where we came from, what we've done, what we haven't done, what we should have done, to know well enough that regardless of any of us being up there having an emotional or passionate conversation, we've learned each other well enough to know that it's not coming from a negative place. It's coming from a place, like I said, of hurt and fear. And we calculate for that. You know, like I said, a week and a half ago on your stream, the way I came up there that night, man, I was done. And New and Zero took their time because they knew me. They knew who I was. They let me say everything I had to say, whether they agreed with it or not. And they broke it down for me to understand that, you got to take a break. You got to dump some of those channels. You got to step back. You got to do this. You got to do that. And like I said earlier, when it comes to younger brothers telling older brothers what to do, there's no time to talk about age. There's only time to figure it out and get it right. And they helped me figure it out and get it right. And I'm pretty sure New would agree. I sound a lot better than I did that night. It's and again, it's what we're supposed to do for each other. We give space and allowances for sometimes we're not going to be on point, and we have to just give that person a chance to get it off their chest, and then just slowly work it back and get them back where they're supposed to be. And not just New and Zero. I've said it plenty of times, man. Like I said, what y'all see on the chat with me is nothing compared to when I'm talking on the phone with Eisen. Like I said, Eisen has pulled me back from the brink a couple of times. Because like I said, I get passionate about brothers having a chance and getting the opportunity to be who and what they desire to be without stupid people coming in and deterring them from that. So like I said, there's no explanation you have to give us about being passionate or about being upset. You're allowed to be.
Well,
But what you're not. No, I'm sorry. But what you're not allowed to be is somebody who lives in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's because, like I said, that night with New and Zero, I was living in it for real. I was living in it. I was just there, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're allowed to be that way, but we're not allowed to get in it, stay in it, and live in it as if it becomes our life. We have to step outside of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I wanted to make some adjustments to what you said about
Yeah,
as
please. Go
far as
ahead.
with the women and Pookie and Ray Ray. Here's the thing: the women know that they ain't worth $10.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. They
five
know that
actually.
they ain't worth 10. Yeah, they ain't worth that either. But I mean, here's the thing: they know it. But the reason why they do what they do is simply their nature of like Jessica pointed out on her channel one time. There, I mean, if you're going to deal with women, you have to accept the simple fact that manipulation is the basic nature of women. That and of
Right,
course prostitution.
right.
Yeah,
Niggas
yeah.
And
don't niggas
what's
don't
the most
understand that
basic
shit.
form of manipulation? Lying.
Hmm.
That's the first one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the most basic.
Hmm.
So here's the thing: if a woman admits to the simple fact that they ain't shit, now they can't manipulate you to do anything for them.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on, Isaac. I
What?
think the first form of that would be crying as a baby when you can't speak.
Well, yeah, yeah,
But
Well, yeah,
I was
yeah,
just going back.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
True,
well,
true.
yeah. Well, the foundation is the lie. The crying is the tool. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true,
Yeah, the lie is the foundation, the basics, like you said,
true.
and the crying is one of the tools used for it.
Right. And now, when you move to Pookie and Ray Ray, here's the difference here. The thing is that the contract between them and these hoes has been the niggas we don't really want, they gonna pay while we still get dick from y'all. But now,
Yeah, yeah,
since you got guys that have figured out, hey, look, this shit ain't working out, and they back it out, so that money is gone. Them niggas got to pay now since they the ones dealing with them.
yep,
So that's where their part comes in. It's like, wait, hold on, y'all been paying for this shit.
yep,
Hey, look,
yeah.
we ain't winning now. We gotta
Nope.
pay now.
And that's why they're mad. They're upset
Yes,
because they're not just upset
yes,
because we figured out the women. They're upset we figured them out as well. That's really what's setting them off. One thing with
yeah,
black
yeah.
men.
True, true, Evan Duncan. That is true too. One thing with black men is even if they
Yeah,
admit what they are, most of these dudes will still try and save them because they are still trying to say that look, you can't save your mama. Well, I wouldn't say save their mama. This is what I would say, Evan Duncan. They don't want to admit they mama been that hoe too. They don't want to see that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
Woman's the
seen
They
woman.
don't
that.
want to see it,
Woman's the
auntie, they
woman.
sister, whoever. They don't want to see that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that. I got in arguments about that a couple of times. I'm like, dude, but you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah, hey,
you got here, so you know your mama's doing something. I
yeah,
mean,
hey,
Woman's the
and
woman,
your
man.
mama, hey, look, and who you think might be your daddy might not be your daddy.
one in four,
Might
one
not
in
be your
yep,
daddy.
one
I
in
mean, you
four
got
children.
the other thing you got to think about, during launch time they were coming up. Hey, the milkman
Yo,
made a lot of
man.
men pay for the kids.
Yo, man, I got crazy stories. Yo, I got crazy stories about that growing up, for
Yeah,
real, for real.
hey,
And
yeah,
it wasn't just the milkman, it was the mailman, it
milkman.
was the dude at the grocery store when there wasn't enough money to pay for the groceries. Yo, I got
Yeah,
stories.
the
I
meat
got
man. Yes, sir.
yeah, I got
Hey,
stories,
yeah, the
man.
butcher. Hey, and then now my era, it came to the fact, hey, the cable man got a lot of these niggas here.
Yep,
Yeah, man. Let me get the full package.
Yeah.
Give me the full
yep,
package.
And hey, wait, a full package shit, keep the shit on.
No, let me get the full package and the full package.
yeah, man. Shit, I walked in on a couple of those scenarios growing up. I mean, like, what the? It's like, yo, you're not lying though. You nailed that one, bro. You
Yeah,
nailed that one
Jonathan.
big
Yeah, come
time.
on, yeah, Jonathan. Yes. Man, look, that's why I said prostitution is the other basic nature of women. When you look at it throughout society, women have traded their box for resources, whatever it may be.
Oh, in a
They
heartbeat.
provide. That's why I said they ain't worth. They know they ain't worth $10.
Yeah, man. Yo, man,
They
I've
know
seen.
they ain't worth it because only thing they willing to do is drop it off to get something. And
Yeah.
now they quit doing that. They trade the illusion of you being able to get it
Oh yeah. Oh
to
yeah.
get whatever it is they want. So
Man, I've watched chicks give up ass to my cousin just for a Lucy cigarette. One
Mm.
cigarette. That's it. Just one cigarette. Yo, man, yo, it's real, man. It's real. It's real. Walked in on the corner grocery store. It was run by Arabs. Walked in. One of them behind the counter running it, and the other one you hearing noises like moans, and you turn your head, man, and he's doing a fine ass sister because she wanted a sandwich and some chips. Yo, I've seen it all, man.
Hey.
I've seen
Lucy, not the Lucy.
I've seen some crazy shit, man.
Hey, you know, it all. Hey, look, it goes back to this scene in Forrest Gump. Old Forrest out there on this
Oh
swing. He
yeah.
said,
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
your mama love you.
what old boy come out and say, boy, your mama sure do care about your
Yeah.
schooling. Look, these women been doing it for less than that since the beginning of time. That's why I said all of them are prostitutes. All of them.
Mama loves you.
Yeah, right. Mama loves you.
Well, like I said, man, as far as like, let's say the red pill shit goes, you not really red pill until you check your moms, man. Until you realize that she is just another woman. She happens to be her to you, but she is another fucking woman.
Yeah, she is a woman first before she is ever your mama.
Yeah, then if that's the case, I've been red pill longer than I thought.
That's why since I was born.
Yeah, but then again, I'm living black pill lifestyle now. So, but yeah. As a matter of fact, somebody called me a Sigma, and I had to go look up what that was.
Yeah, I used to think that I was a Sigma because I knew I wasn't an Alpha. I used to think that I was a Sigma, and I think this dude in the chat, I'm not sure who it was. It could have been either some dude named Mr. Edward Hyde, or it could have been Checking for You One. He said, check Zeta. Because so many of us think if we think we're a Sigma, we're actually a Zeta. I mean, I never got into that, that type of hierarchy or everything, but I mean, all this shit is interesting still.
Well, I didn't know what it was. I had to go look it up. And I think it was in a chat at Black Ram, I think. But yeah, I had to go look up what it was. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I mean, I stopped at Black Pill and MGTOW. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's it. But and even what you said now, Zeta. That's the first time I've heard that. What is that?
Man.
Evan Duggan basically said it equals, pretty much MGTOW.
Yeah,
that's what he said. I haven't looked into it to know.
But if you look at an introverted alpha, the way they describe what an alpha is, if you look at Zeta, you'll see that you compare yourself more to a Zeta than a Sigma.
So that's a MGTOW monk, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, Zeta is. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Zeta. Okay, Zeta is more like a MGTOW monk. Yeah. I would say I'm closer to that.
I think we're all just hybrids, pretty much.
Yeah, I would agree. There's more.
I would be fair. Yeah. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
I mean, because if you look at a fucking alpha and then look at the end of their life, who claim alpha? Look at what they are.
Betas.
Boom.
They end up becoming the beta. Yeah, and to some of what Lawrence is talking about, man, it makes me think. I've had older people talking about how men, when they were little, men would give them quarters, give them 50 cents, and they would go down to that old corner store, get them big ass cookies, Lawrence.
Yep, I remember.
Hey, look, while they did that, they were playing Clarence Carter, Backdoor Santa. Yep. So while they sent them kids on with them candy, to go get some candy, cookies, and all that, because back then, you get that little 50 cent, and boy, you be gone for a while.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, you can go in there and get penny. You can go in there and get candy and cookies at a penny a pop.
Yes.
So you
and like it was big ass cookies too.
Yeah, they were big. Yeah. So you got 10 cents, you get 10 giant cookies. To another 10 cents, you get candy. You know what I'm saying? 10 pieces of candy, and the last 5 you go get 5 pieces of bubble gum.
Yeah.
Go get the Chico sticks for 10 cents and the little pack of non-layers for 5 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. We used to We used to walk around and collect bottles because when we turned them in, we got 5 cents.
Yes. I remember that too. Yes, I do. We still had that one here.
There's a thrifties. They used to have small carts. So before school, when I was in 6th grade, we used to return them, all the carts, and you get 25 cents for each cart. We just like almost ditched school for like a one class to collect, a couple of dollars out of them carts.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Yeah. So, all that was going on. They sending them kids down there, and then mama turning tricks in there. I'm just saying this stuff has been going on for over 100 years. It's not new.
Yeah.
It's not new, but it's just that you had all these old niggas lying about it because of the simple fact. Look, they want the young ones to S up and wife up hoes, the same type of hoes that they was pumping and leaving behind back in the day.
It's a barter system.
Yeah. It's all
Have money to it. That's all.
I mean, I got stories of brothers who married a girl and the whole 9 yards. Come to find out, they pops or they uncle used to do the girl. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. And these are the same dudes who was pushing him to marry her. You know what I'm saying? So he marries her. He think he's got a good wife, but she's still seeing them on the side.
Exactly.
Because now she's in the family, so you can just go do what you want. I'm like, come on. I couldn't be part of all that, man. I had to go. I had to leave, man. Because not only could I not be part of it, man, but it does something to you mentally when you're seeing that shit all the time. It's just not good for you mentally. It just isn't.
Yeah, because what happens is you begin to accept that shit as normal, and it's what should happen. I mean, that's what happens, and that's why we have the culture that we have now. And these niggas they don't want to give it up, but now that they started to have to pay for these hoes, that's why they beg y'all. Hey, come back to the game, bro. They don't pay
come back to the table. You will.
Yes.
And I'll go to Home Depot and get the nails and the glue and make it all nice and sturdy for you to come back in and sit at my table that you're going to break again.
Pay for it.
Yep.
Pay for what I don't want to have to pay for. I mean, when you listen to, to a lot of these old songs. I mean, you had, people like try to say it's not common. These women, especially, they try to make it like it's not common. You had Marvin C singing about being Mr. Jody.
Yeah.
The man is making money for his woman and the family. She's spending it on him, buying him clothes and riding him around in the new car that he bought.
Yep.
And they want you to come back to do that.
And that's what I was trying to explain to Zero that day. That's why they're upset. It's not that we figured out just women. They're upset we figured them out as well.
Especially
I'm sorry, knew what?
I said especially them.
Yeah. And because if you notice nowadays we're getting it more from them than we are from women.
Yeah.
I mean, women are still doing their grimy stuff, no doubt. But there's more and more of those type of men who are coming into the areas and spaces, coming at us even more.
Well, they're doing the work of their queens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the masters actually, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you have to reach that point, man, where it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I mean, if you come in my space and that's what you are, then I got to tell you to go. I have a responsibility to everybody else who is here for something positive. You got to go.
And John, this is why you talk about there has to be some sort of code of conduct among black men. The thing is, the only code of conduct that you really need, man, you got to cut them niggas off.
Yeah. And if I could do a slight, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I mean, I was pretty much at the end of my statement, anyways.
Oh well, what I was going to say to Jonathan is you also have to do what I've been saying lately. You have to separate the difference, because you're talking about you have to separate black men from niggas. You have to. So if you're talking about black men like us men, I could see it. I don't know if it would work, but I could see the need for it. But if you're talking about niggers, that's a wrap. That's not gonna happen, dude. It's just not gonna happen. And that's why lately I've been on this trip of separating the two, because we have to. Because as long as we keep lumping them in with us, man, it's not gonna work. There are us who are black men, want to do positive, trying to do positive. Some of us know the way, some of us don't. We can learn from each other. Niggas, just pussy. That's all they care about. So they're not us. I don't include them in the same group.
Well, you don't like pussy?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I enjoy it immensely, but I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it immensely. Make no mistake, but I don't need it. I don't have to have it. I really don't.
Yeah. Yo,
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yo, I just watched that scene, yo.
seen it.
A Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez,
yeah.
yo,
That's why,
dude.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
That's why.
Huh?
That's why I said, simply that manipulation and prostitution are the basic nature of women.
Mhm.
Shit.
I mean, people and women hate it when you say that because of the simple fact
You're doing it.
they wanna try and use it only as a straight cash for ass transaction. Now,
Mhm.
shit, back when they were living in caves, they would trade for rocks,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
meat, whatever else was needed.
they cannot see that
No, they can see
everything,
it.
everything is prostitution too.
Oh,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
I
Like
got it. Oh,
they
they
can't,
see it.
they refuse to. No, they refuse to see it that way.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they see it. They refuse to admit that they are that. I mean, it's too much of a blow to their own ego.
Come on, dudes.
Oh, dudes too. Oh, yes, it's a blow to the dudes' egos too. Yeah, most definitely, it's a blow to their egos too.
Yeah, because there's a thing with guys where there's a certain amount of self-lying, if that's not a term, but anyway, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah,
Bullshit yourself.
Where you think that the one you chose is the one that's going to be different. There's a thing in your mind.
yes,
There's a thing,
yes,
and I'm talking
yes,
for real because I've done it twice. I'm not even
yes.
playing with you. There's a thing in our heads where we think either we turned the hoe into a housewife, or we got the right one. She'll never do that to me. It's always gonna be perfect, yada yada. And what I've learned over my lifetime and what I've told other brothers is that you need to understand something. It's just your turn. You have to come to grips with that. You have to accept that. You
Yeah.
have to. It's just your turn, because in the drop of a dime, she could wake up in the morning and change her mind. At a drop of a dime, you might not even know she's already making that decision, and she's playing you and another dude at the same time. You. That's something as men we have to learn to get past. If you're going to get married, you have to be prepared at all times. It's just your turn, and it can
Mm.
change at any minute. That's the last lesson my cousin William gave me during this divorce I'm going with, and I had to accept it. It pissed me off, but I had to accept it, because as men we do that. We think nothing can go wrong. We chose the right one, yada yada. There is no right one. They will
Right.
all do it if the opportunity presents itself in a heartbeat. They have
That's
proven it generation after generation. They have proven it economically. They have proven it. They have proven it with your progeny. They have proven it with their lifestyle. They have proven it with their attitude. They have proven it across the board. They are all going to do it. They are all the same.
But that's
yes.
even with them niggas preaching get a virgin shit. Get a virgin, get a
And
virgin.
I'm
And I'm
sitting
like,
and I'm
Oh,
still the same.
and I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, this one that I'm divorcing now was that. The first one, I went outside. I didn't want to deal with black women in this country. So my first wife was white. And I'm telling you, she cheated like I mean, it was no tomorrow. Okay. The second one, right now, from the Caribbean, Trinidad Tobago, and a virgin.
don't matter. Once they get here, it's over.
And I'm telling you, nothing is different. It doesn't matter. That's why I don't believe in SYSBM, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change. They're all the same.
Hey,
That's the push. That's the fucking pushback I give as far as SYSBM. The acronym, yes, but the chasing ass somewhere else,
yeah,
no.
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
That's
because
why
yeah, because yeah, yeah,
I'm big town. Like I'm not
exactly.
chasing it. Type of
And that's
shit.
the point I keep trying to make people understand. Just going SYSBM means nothing. You're still doing the same thing, chasing ass.
yeah.
There needs to be something more important than chasing ass. So
Mm.
you haven't changed. You just changed the location.
Yes.
I mean, that's all you've done.
And look, and then when you mess up and you bring them back here, you find out they gonna gut you the same way the ones here have.
And remember,
And if the laws ever change where they're at to
yep,
benefit them the way they have here, they're gonna do the same shit there.
which it already has. Look at
Yeah, a
Australia.
lot
Look
of
at
people.
Spain.
Yes, a lot
Look
of
at
places. Yeah,
Australia. Look
right.
at France. Look at Canada. Look at Spain. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
already has. Look at Israel. I mean, it's just it already has. It is what it is. That's why I never believed in SYSBM. You're just changing locations. That's all. That's all you're doing.
And great
One matrix to the
point here
next.
by Evan Duncan. Women conform to whatever the current environment allows.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Conform to it. True.
Absolutely. So that's why when people argue about, well, you got to get a girl with low bodies. Okay, well, I got a girl with no bodies. I still got the same problem. What are you talking about? I mean, you got to get a woman who's not from this country. I got a woman that's not from this country. It's the same thing. Well, you got to get somebody. You got to get somebody who ain't black. I did that too. Same thing. What is your argument? Because I'm here to tell you that my life experiences, you're wrong. It's not going to change.
Her hymen ain't broke again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come to find out that, what I'm saying, I'm the first, but during the period of the time after that, before we got married, she was with others.
Hey,
And I,
look,
and I didn't find that out until after being married. So again, my answer is the same. They're all the same.
and to Jonathan, look, the SYSBM philosophy really is about, it's still the same. They just chasing women outside the US.
Yeah, different location.
The thing is that women of all cultures, none of them have ever changed. They're still, but two basic things about their nature: manipulation and prostitution.
Yep.
All of them
I'll be right
around
back.
the world. It does not matter. Those two things are still there. The difference is whenever they get into a society that allows them to get away with murder, literally, they're going to do it. No matter what culture they come from. You take a lot of these, let's say these Hispanic women, they're second generation, they done for it. The only thing they old word is using as a tool to get off and send them on their way. All of them. In second generation, they are Americanized. It's done for. It is what it is. I mean, you don't have to believe it. Just try it and see what happens. But yeah, but man, we have had a great conversation today. Thank you, Nu, for coming up. Your first time on the panel here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been saying I want to try to come up with more streams.
Yeah.
And hopefully when I take this layoff, I will be able to come up on more streams.
Okay, cool. And oh yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, we originally we were talking about the other aspects outside of the women deal. That's what we were talking about originally. Those are still good.
The acronym, yes. The shit behind it for what people are doing, no.
Right.
Sorry, I stepped away.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
But just my comment is, I no longer have a desire to give power or authority to someone who has no mental fortitude and who on a whim, no truth, no logic, no facts, but just on a whim of how they feel that day, destroy my world. I have no intention on doing that anymore. in any capacity, and that's what you get when you involve yourself into long-term relationships, marriage, or cohabitation.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's what's going to happen. Because again, at any given moment, just because they said so, and to make matters worse, they got an entire governmental system to back them up to do it. There's and like I said, I hate going all sci-fi, but just like Star Trek with the Ferengi, there's no profit in it. There's no profit in it, none.
Not for you, anyways.
Exactly.
They gain everything.
Well, for them, it's a lottery ticket. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, and like I try to tell men, look, if you think it don't matter, she takes your money because you can get more. That's okay. If you think it don't matter, she took your house, you can go get another one. That's okay. But what's not okay is when we start getting into the hard shit. She took your children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't the same. See, you can blow off a lot of stuff if you want to play that game, but there's certain parts that cannot be ignored.
Protect your legacy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the thing is,
You crazy?
and that's the other thing too, man.
My
And
legacy.
niggas don't know words for shit. Legacy is your
Right.
word.
You talking about lineage?
Lineage is your kids.
That's correct. That is correct. That is correct. Actually, what you're supposed to be doing is leaving a legacy for your lineage. That's how it's supposed to work.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Niggas
But
working at
man,
Walmart talking about a legacy.
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And
It,
it's,
it's different if you try to work your way up into corporate. But
Right. You
yeah.
gotta be managers.
hey, you just been bragging in the cars for 20 years.
Yeah. 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 That's why when Aegon, is he still here?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
right
still
here.
there.
Right
Oh,
here.
okay. Okay. That's why sometimes when you talk about uh 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 being in a relationship, wanting to have kids, wanting to have your woman be on your side and be your friend and stuff like that. I don't knock you for it. And the reason I don't is it's just this plain. It's what we're supposed to do. Regardless of what angle you come at, from a purely scientific aspect, it's a biological function of us. From a scriptural aspect, we're supposed to go forth and multiply. I get it. You're supposed, as men, we're supposed to desire these things. There's nothing wrong with it. The issue is that when you start seeing the writing on the wall, that the very functions that make your existence worthwhile, or whatever word phrase you want to use, becomes detrimental to you, you got to walk away.
They being used against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Aegon did a thing, man. Aegon called me the other day before he went live. And he had a wake up call.
Mm.
Remember that shit, Aegon?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
we were talking about? How you were saying that you feel a certain way of what you want to do because you still like the feeling of being married and having kids, but you know you're lying to yourself if you do it here.
Yep.
I think you're awake. I think you had a nice little wake up call that day, and that was a good thing. You know you're thinking about the shit.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not easy, man. It's not. It's not easy, yo.
It's not.
Yeah. For most it isn't. For some, for very few, I should say. I guess that realization is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
They can process it and see it coming faster than others who have been conditioned to want that. While you got a select few who understand, hey, look, man, I'm shooting my own self in the foot if I do this. Man,
Yeah.
no, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the purpose of the different dimensions of all of us who are here.
Yeah.
Because from eyes in the news perspective, they never had to deal with it, so they can give you the point of view of the possibilities when you're not bogged down in the nonsense. And then you have people like me who are sitting here and telling you, yeah, I can verify that because I lived it. You don't want to do, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to do it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Deep in my heart, I wish it was different. I do. I really do. I wish it could be the way it's supposed to be. But wishes are for children.
Mm-hmm.
And women.
And I have to accept reality.
No, I mean, not for real, it is.
No,
Yeah, it was
he's
just the way
right.
you said it. It was
He's
the way
right.
you said it.
No, but it's true. Yeah, wishes are for children and women. It's true. I mean, they're pretty much the same type of people. But the thing is that there has to be, and this is where being men comes into play. Men have no problem facing reality. We're not supposed to. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So look, I wish it would be different. But as a man, being practical and realistic, I know it's not. I also know it never will be again. And I also know that it can't be because the vast majority of people don't want it to be. So I have a choice to make. Do I play the game along with them, or do I set off on my own path? Now, as people who like to be alone, setting off on my own path is not scary. I can go do it blindfolded.
Right.
But you have people who are terrified of being alone. There are people who are terrified.
Yes.
There are men who can't function unless they're in a relationship. Literally,
Yes.
they have to have a woman, and it's not that they chase an ass or anything. They just need to be in a relationship. It makes them feel fulfilled. And you know what I'm saying? And again, it's not a bad thing, but at the end of the day, you have to realize that what you want and the dynamics that you're working with do not work in the environment you're in. They just don't.
Right. Well, that's why I was, speaking. I mean, people, but me talking to men or my friends who, who are married. I always ask them, as a grown adult man, have you ever been by yourself for, a long period of time? Have your own place, do your own thing. I know these, some of these cats got kids and whatnot, but have you ever just not had a woman so you can do what the fuck you want to do? And they say no. And I'm like, that's pretty damn sad.
It is. It is,
what
because
I
it's bad.
did, it fucked up. Like I'm like, I can't be myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as bad as I've been, I still had that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as bad as it's been with me with my marriages, I still have those moments where there were long periods where I was alone. So I mean, I've never been that dude who has to be married. I've never been that dude. I've never been that dude that has to be in a relationship.
And me, on what Lawrence was saying, he wish things were different. For you dudes that want this, that want this stuff, I wish it was different for y'all. I do. But for me, it doesn't matter because I know better. I've been this way since '83. And I tried doing the commitment shit one time. And I knew in the middle of it, I was like, nope, I can't do this shit ever again. So once I am done with this shit here, I'm done altogether. I ain't no going back to it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
And if I could say something, and I don't know how you guys are gonna react to it, but here's my thought. When it comes to niggas and it comes to women, any interaction you have, automatically go into it as if you're talking to one of Joseph's brothers.
Oh, okay. Well, with both of them, I assume. Well, here's the thing with the dudes. The stuff we talk about on here, I'm like zero. You pretty much can't have these conversations outside of here. Niggas are too emotional.
Hell yeah.
There's only about two. There's only about two that I can think of offhand where I can have these relationships. I can have these conversations with really maybe three, and not motherfuckers and not get all emotional as shit. And the funny thing is, they're at work. Two of them, they actually are married. One of them situation is different. I talked to Lawrence about this before. I mean, his situation is a fucking anomaly.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a man that's going to get when they get home and they wife automatically, they're going to have something cooked for him, bringing it to him. His situation is an anomaly in that sense.
Yeah.
He knows it too.
Who's?
A friend of mine from work.
My parents?
No, it's a friend of his from work.
I just made it up.
Yeah, I know.
David?
Y'all silly, man. And so he understands it. So whenever we talk, and I was telling some especially some young guys, like, man, look, y'all ain't like this one. Y'all ain't like y'all can't do what he can do. And he said he had to laugh that night when he was in his chair. And his wife brought him there. He said, man, I got to tell him this tomorrow.
I remember when you told me, I was silent for a minute.
Yeah.
It took my brain a minute to grasp the concept that exists.
Yeah.
I mean, because for all intents and purposes, you're talking about a white tiger, a unicorn, whatever we're calling it. And it does something to your head. You know what I mean? But yeah, it took me a minute when you told me that.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I say, man, look, y'all can't. I said, y'all talk about doing shit all the time. I said, now that's real player shit right there. Y'all talk about doing. I said, that right there is real player shit. I was like, y'all can't claim that. I said, y'all must claim that. I was like, that's an anomaly.
And if you think you got it right now, make no mistake, it won't last long. because they're only doing it to lure you in. That's it.
Yeah. That's why I say, I tell people, I said that situation right there, that's an anomaly. you know, you're talking about something that happens at less than what at less than 1/4%. Yeah,
I would make it lower than that, personally speaking. But
I said 1/4%, less
yeah,
than that. So
I
I
would
don't
still
know
make
how
it.
much less.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I said less. I ain't try to put no number on it. It's that low.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then,
and
like I said, I it's one of those moments where you're just stuck on stupid because you don't know how to
yeah,
you don't know how to calculate that. You don't know
yeah,
what to say to that. You don't know how to grasp the concept. It takes you a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. It does. It does.
You know.
And I mean, it really does. But that's why I said, that's why I valued a lot of the people that I've got to talk to and be on panels with on here because the ability to be able to have these conversations and not have no emotional blowback because some niggas or some hoes all in their fucking feelings. I mean, it's refreshing. It's great to be able to have these discussions and not have that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like me when I finish getting everything ready and I start mine. Like I said, it's nothing personal, but only specific people are going to have wrenches because they're going to do the work. You in there with that nonsense? Yeah, bye. Cut them out, block them, time them out, whatever it is. Because I'm not gonna play that game. I'm just not. Um, but you have to separate yourself. Just like MOT and I talk about. You have to separate yourself physically, build something somewhere else, and be very specific about who you let in. But you also have to separate yourself mentally from it, and emotionally to some degree.
That's
Because
the
like I
first
said,
step.
yeah, because like I said, I'm not perfect. I've done it myself. I get very emotional with the people that I've named and a couple of others that you all know who I get very emotional. Um, and it's not a good thing. I'm not even gonna lie about it. It's not a good thing. Even though the motivation behind it is good and it's positive, it's still not good overall in the execution.
Gotcha.
Because like I said, I've got to know a lot of you guys pretty damn good, and I take it very seriously, man. That as far as I'm concerned, you guys are my baby brothers. You feel what I'm saying? So people coming in and going at that or attacking that or bringing bullshit in, I take it personal. I take it like you're attacking my family because that's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
No.
know,
Right.
I'm not saying the way I do it is good, but I do think that's what we all need to do for each other when we see that kind of nonsense come into space.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Because nobody else is protecting us, so we got to protect ourselves. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
nobody else gives a damn. They just don't.
yeah. And that's why I said, uh, you know, it's different with you compared to a lot of these other older, fellas. I think you and Nagone are the only two that anybody respects anything that they have to say because um, the fact of you shown yourself to be what you say you are, and you guys shown yourself to be what you actually stand for. You ain't selling somebody some bullshit that y'all don't believe in yourselves. So I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. That's funny.
Well, I'd like to hope so.
Yeah,
Because
it does. It does.
like I said, I listen to Gone. I listen to Nagone when he pops up on MOT and all that good stuff, and I'm hearing it and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, and I know it sounds corny, but I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not alone. Oh God, oh thank God, there's another older brother in here who gets it. Oh man. Oh, geez, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but it's true because, like I said, between the isms and the Beasleys and all the, I'm like, come on, man, give me one brother out there who's with me. You know what I'm saying? And then I heard Nagone for the first time, and I was like, oh, okay then. And then I started listening to him every time he came up on MOC. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because
Man,
I'm like, there's no way I could be the only one out there. There's no way,
mm.
you
Yo,
know.
Eisen, can I ask Lawrence a question real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
I didn't do it.
I asked, he funny.
Man, why are you always chopping people?
What the fuck?
My bad, Agon. I had to do that one for Marco.
I asked him to go and 11 this question. Like, I think like the first time I ever talked to him, and I want to ask you, if you're the same way. A while ago on one of MOT streams, I remember something he said way back on Obsidians, where he said, "I do not mess with a lot of men my age," and I think the going is in his 50s or going to the 60s. He's in his 50s. He's in his 50s.
He's older than me. I think he's 3 years older than me, I think.
And he was like, yeah, right. Okay. So he said,
57, 58, something like that.
He was like, I do not mess with a lot of men my age because they are dead. And I knew what he meant by saying that, because I felt the same way about a lot of guys that I was raised around. Like, they're not dead physically, but like they dead mentally. Like, you feel that way about a lot of guys in your generation?
Damn straight I do. No, I'm being straight up honest with you. I'm being straight up honest with you. They are dead to me. Exactly the way he said. I look. When younger brothers come in and they engage in fuckery, my initial thought is okay, they don't know better. They need it explained to them. They need to see, possibilities, etc., and so on. Some of them get it, most of them don't. But I give them the leeway, because that's the part about being an old, that thing we talked about earlier with being an older brother, saying a younger brother hasn't lived. That's how that should be used. Not in the sense that they don't have any knowledge, but it should be used in the sense that you need to really think about what you're saying and look at the bigger picture. And that's it. It should be no more than that. But with older brothers, my generation and older, I got no time for it. As soon as I'm not even gonna try and debate with you. I'm not gonna even try to help you understand. I'm not even gonna accept the fact that you don't know better. I'm just gonna ignore you. You're done. You're done. Because the same bullshit you use on younger brothers about not being old enough to know better, you've lived long enough to know better. So if that's the
that was a good question.
yeah. So in that case, I got no time for you, because I know you know better. Even if you haven't accepted it, you've seen it. So I have no time for you. I have no time for you. That's why I get hot at the people I name, because you regardless of what you say, you have lived long enough to know. Okay, you got a young brother in here who's 21, 22. He's figuring it out. I give him some leeway. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in your 50s and up, you saw what happened in the 60s. You saw what happened in the 70s. You saw what happened in the 80s. You saw what happened in the 90s. You saw what happened in 2000s. Plus, you have no fucking excuse to me. You have no excuse. Because if you're still doing what you're doing, then I have to accept the fact that you are beyond help, because you made that choice and you stuck with it. So yeah, I'm with MOT. They're dead to me. They're absolutely categorically, unequivocally dead to me.
No, but that's a good question, Agon, because I think I was in one of his chats, one of MOT's chats the other day, and I heard Nagone talking, and I'll be at work, so I'm in and out of the chat, and sometimes I'm listening, sometimes I just got my earbuds in, but I put in the chat, this sounded like some damn Save the Children shit. And he replied back to me, he was like, nah, this is just like as you could reach somebody at an early age. Right? So when you guys saying that, I think about it like me being 45. I only got a few people my age that I really fuck with. Some of them are older and they've been through life, and they don't lie to me. You know what I'm saying? And if they were, I'm already knowing. They know that I can see that shit. You know what I'm saying? But then like, me hanging around a lot of younger dudes too, I'm seeing the fact that even at work with my apprentices, like they look up to me. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Albuquerque working, I had an apprentice, man, and my homeboy was like, "No, he follows you around like a dog, man. He likes your ass, like he looks up to you." And I wasn't looking at it like that. He was looking at him, look at me when I was talking, staring me straight into my eye and taking in everything that I was saying. You know what I'm saying? And I see it like Lawrence is saying, like, yeah, they do have some sort of a chance, as far as learning something, and from guys who have been through it, who are going to tell them the truth, other than guys who have been through it and who's still going to go through it and then lead you down the same fucking path. That shit just kind of hit me right there when you asked that question, and then Lawrence said what he said.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you also have to take something else too, based on something you said, New. Being your age, and then that young man looking up to you the way he does, there's power in that, man.
Yeah.
And with that power comes responsibility. Not to go all Spider-Man, but in addition to that responsibility, it elevates you as an older representative to that young man, because now you want to make sure if he's listening to you like that, if he's following you like that, if he respects you on that level, then you want to make sure everything you say to him, everything you show him, everything you explain, you do it in the right way, the positive way, to make sure he gets the most out of it. Not just come up here to talk nonsense just for the sake of talking nonsense. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and there's a responsibility to that. That's why I said on Agon stream one time before, look, regardless of anything that happens, if there's one thing that I have come away from with you guys and Zero and everybody else, is my level of respect for you. And that level of respect to you puts me in a position that I will never lie to you. That's the first step in taking in accepting that power and that responsibility. Because for somebody to give that to you is nothing to be taken lightly. You know what I'm saying? So you try to live up to it. You try to be worthy of it, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what you were saying before, or what we were talking about before, as far as learning through mistakes. I mean, most of the time you're learning through mistakes in life anyway. So, but you learn off of other people's mistakes. Like as an apprentice for 5 years, I have, quite a few journeymen, that I'm going to meet. I'm going to meet each way they do something. So that means I'm meeting a different type of journeyman, has a different style. So now me being a journeyman and then me teaching apprentices, I might make a joke. Oh shit. Like don't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned something from my mistake and then he learned what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we all gonna fucking learn. You
Yeah.
learn by trials and tribulations. Most of them are gonna be, pretty jacked up growing up. And if you don't learn through those, then that's like your fault. But if somebody can, because everybody's gonna make mistakes, and regardless of the fact, even if you learn from the quote unquote right guy, you're still gonna make mistakes in life.
Yeah.
But it's just that how you gonna get up over that hurdle.
Yep.
You gonna stay down, lay down, or you gonna get the fuck up and keep going.
Like Rocky said, man, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down. What matters is do you get back up? That's what matters. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why I have a tendency to get a little I don't know if overly serious is the phrase I'm looking for, but that's why I have a tendency to get a little more when it comes to you guys in this space, because I look, I take it seriously, man. Look, you guys are giving me the respect that you'll listen to me. That's not something to take lightly, especially considering the experiences you have had with people my age and older. I mean, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you guys even accepted me in, listen to what I have to say, let me come up on your panels, talk to me in emails, talk to me on the phone. The fact that you even given that to me, I take that seriously, man. I take that dead ass seriously. It's not a joke to me. And I do it, and I do what I can when I can, as best I can, and hopefully I've been of some value or service. But like I said, the fact that you guys even did that, man, that means everything to me. As corny as it sounds, it means everything in the world to me. It really does.
No, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people tell me, "Yo, I heard what you said in the chat, or I heard you on a panel, or I heard this, or heard that." Like, I can be a pretty rigid motherfucker, man, but I'm pretty fucking rigid, man. But at the same time, I do like to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's a time to be serious, and then a time not to be so serious. You know what I'm saying? We can have that. We can have that fuckery. It's always going to happen, and we can have serious conversations, and that's just that's just the way it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Right.
I mean, I grew up. I it's the same thing with me as it is with you, New. I got a half brother, and there's like 11, 12-year difference between us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely working in two different generational mindsets on how stuff should be done, et cetera, and so on. And I remember when he was younger, I was trying to teach him what my cousin William had passed to me. And it was interesting because my birth mother immediately took him and sent him from New York to New Jersey to live with my aunt Lillian, who's about as bad as it's gonna get in the family. Just saying. And from the ages of 8 all the way up until now, everything he does, everything he knows, the way he does it has been based on what she taught him. So if people don't understand what I'm saying, in other words, he's a bitch with a dick.
Mm. Bitch got balls, man.
Yes.
Huh?
Bitch got balls, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to
I
him.
know
No,
it. I
I'm
know
calling,
you're not, but
yeah, I'm calling it for what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
it'll
it's
be
still
funny
funny.
sometimes.
That's my funny side.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's I gotta call it for what it is.
Right.
You know, and that's and that's why I tell people, look, I gotta call it how I see it. I have to. If you can make me change my mind, I'm good with it. I got no problem with it. I'm all for expanding my mind, but I gotta call it for what I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, how do you solve the problem if you don't recognize
Right.
it? You know, so now here I am, and I'm trying. Now he gets older. He moves down here to Florida after me, and I'm trying to pick up where I left off, knowing full well that this is a man in his 20s now. He's pretty much fully formed based off what she did to him. So it's going to take extra work to break out of the cycle and the patterns that he's developed. And what happens? He moves my mother down in with him. And then she picks up where Lillian left off. And before I know it, and I'm not lying, man, he couldn't have been here more than 7 months. He's already hooked up with a chick with 2 kids.
He's trying to get back to the community.
Now, yeah, and then 60 days after meeting her, moves her in with him and my mother.
What?
I'm like, holy crap! Mind you, she's still married at the time.
The
She's
chick was?
separate. Yeah, she's separated. Yeah, she's separated, but she's still legally married. Then not even a hot 4 months after that, she's knocked up with his kid. Oh,
Damn.
crying out loud, man! You
Yeah.
gotta be shitting me.
Yeah,
Gotta be shitting.
he went down a shit path.
He bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Because like I said, everything he got is exactly what they gave me, and I said, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because yo, look, as bad as I might have been with my marriages, at least I married chicks with no kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't move them into my shit right
You
out
could,
the gate.
at least you could say that.
You know what I'm saying? Like with my cousin William. Like I said, he got a pussy problem. He got 9 kids, man.
Damn.
He got 9.
Leaving it
Now, mind you, he's a year older than me. He got 9 kids, and I remember
Same chick.
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not.
Oh, he over there, Will Chamberlain, huh?
Yeah. And then you got my sister, who I said on one stream before, has got 5 kids. None of them belong to the man she married to. Just saying.
God damn.
So the argument, whenever we all used to get together, this is before I cut them out of my life, but when we make fun of, they thought that was some shit to shame me for.
Really?
Oh, I'm dead ass, man. Oh, I'm dead ass. My sister used to sit in the house, so you just think you're better than everybody because you married your woman and had your kids with her.
Fuck
And
nigga.
you know, and like I said, she used to do that to me all my life until one day I don't know, man. I just had it. I looked at her and everybody being there. So you think you're better than all of us? And I was like, you know what? I am.
Yeah.
And then they looked at me. I said, no, I'm being dead serious. I am. I'm better than every last one of you. My children are not bastards. I at least I said,
I know you're being serious, but that shit is great.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing.
Dog, I literally had a chick stop talking to me. She was married for like 20 years. She had 8 kids, right? And she literally stopped talking to me because I'm like, nah, I don't want to have kids. And she was like, what? You don't want to spread your seeds around? I'm like, bitch. I'm like, bitch, even I mean, like I wouldn't think about no marriage and shit, but I was just like what fucking Lawrence is saying. If I did have kids, I don't want no bastard kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's that fucking black chick mindset of, you know, the stereotypical black man. like a nigga's running around like not married and has a bunch of fucking kids. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be that goddamn stereotype.
Because like I said on the stream that day, I'm not sure. I know you were there, Eyes, and I'm not sure if Aegon or New was there, but I had told the whole story, and I had started going off. I said, at least my children aren't bastards, and then everybody started getting upset, and that's when I threw it out that my sister Tanya, you married to John for almost 2 decades, and not near one of those kids are his, and I just called it out just like that. And everybody
literally
got
what a bastard
pissed.
child is a child out of wedlock.
You thought that Exodia.
But what made it worse is that I had called out the fact that none of those kids were his. That's what set them off. I didn't just call them bastards because they were married out of wedlock. I dropped Dom. Actually, I'm lying. I dropped a 50-cent piece is what I did.
No, you dropped more than that. So Evan Duncan, you wrong. Lawrence didn't give them what they wanted. He gave them more than what the fuck they was expecting, and this shit is great.
Well, look. Like I said on another chat before. Look, I'm cool. You want to be mad at me? Be mad at me. You want to call me names? Call me names. I don't give a rat's ass. But when you start going in on me and my children, when you just start coming up with ridiculous shit and all that other stuff, that's absolutely unnecessary because you have a problem with yourself. So you want to take it out on me? That I cannot abide. I cannot abide that. And like I said on the stream before, I'm that guy.
Yeah, basically what happened was Lawrence turned the table over. Basically, he said, "Yeah, y'all mama a hoe."
Yeah.
But see, that day I was telling the story. I never got to finish telling the story because I turned it on my mom after I was done with her.
Yes.
It was a family get together. They wanted to go there. Let's do this.
Yes,
let's do this. Because I went on her. They all started getting crazy. My mother came at me. I looked at her and said, "You ain't got nothing to say because you just like her."
Yeah.
I said you got 3 different kids from 3 different fathers. And let me explain something to you real quick. I can do math. Make no mistake, I can do math. There's less than a 1 year period where you had me and my sister from 2 different men, which means you had another dude in the wing waiting for my father, or you were fucking him while you were with my father. Yeah. So let's not even play that game. If we're gonna do this, then let's fucking do this.
You knew.
What up, man?
You a Jay-Z fan?
Not really.
Huh? But you know the Takeover song, right?
I've never had his albums and really listened to his songs.
Damn, this is one of the biggest singles of Takeover when he's coming at Nas. He was coming at Nas weak track record of albums.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 albums in 10 years. I could divide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, I was born in the month of May.
May what?
May 24th.
You could have been a Taurus, but it's cool.
Oh, it's all right.
I made 4.
I forgive you for not making it to Gemini.
I'm glad I'm not Gemini.
But what was interesting is that I was born in May, and like any doctor, they'll tell you it's 8 weeks before you can get back in the swing of things of getting that bologna sausage. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was 6.
Well, it's either 6 or 8, one or the other. But I know there's at least a month and a half. It's more than a month. I know that. So how do you get knocked up with my sister, where she's born the immediate year after, around the same time I was? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just like I just dropped it on him, man. I'm just tired, man.
Yeah, holding that shit in. Fuck it, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, are you really the firstborn? Because rumor has it, Uncle Sylvester's the firstborn, and they traded him out for you and left him with somebody else. And it's just, man, there's all kinds of grimy stuff in my face. I just dropped it all, man. I just dropped it all. And yes, I do have an evil twin. That's all right.
I did the same shit to my mom, Joe, because my mom said after my dad, she never did the black man again. And I saw that shit, like, straight up. Like, my brother is my half brother, but he's half white too. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's is like that, like, straight up, like, had 2 kids out of wedlock, swirler, like, all that shit. I'm like, God damn, and she wonders why I don't really talk to her.
Yeah. Like I said,
bitch lives 10 minutes away from me, right up the street.
yeah, and like I said, I stopped talking. I stopped talking to mine, and that's 2009, 2010, which is around the time this happened. And it is what it is, man. I like, and the reason I share that story is because I want people to realize that I don't just say it, I do it. Because I said time and time again, they ask for it, let them have it. I'm not going to argue with women anymore about the right thing to do. I'm not going to argue with them anymore about what they should do, what's right, what's wrong. No, you're a grown ass person. No
Right.
more.
Well, for one,
No.
they don't care. They don't care any damn way.
That's very true. That's very true. But my math is simple. If you come at me with it, then you're going to get it. That's just it. I'm going to let them suffer the consequences of every single choice, word, action they choose. I'm not going to do that anymore. Like I said, that's why I have my two oldest daughters. Don't talk to them anymore. I miss my grandkids. I do. But you know what? My mental health and well-being is more important than anything and anybody.
And your feelings.
Yep. They got to come first. They have to. They have to. So, if they change their mind later on, I'll consider it, rebuilding something. But if they don't, guess what? I'm still okay. I'm still going to get up tomorrow and be okay. I'm still going to get up tomorrow and do what I want to do. I'm still going to get up tomorrow and build what I need to build. It means nothing. And like I said, if this is going to be the choice where I'm not taking shit from women, then that means all women. I don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah, I think that's where people have a misconception of, what is it? Blood is thicker than water or whatever.
Yeah.
Nigga, no, it's not that way.
I
I didn't ask to fucking be here. I don't owe you shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you sound like my cousin William. He used to say that to his mom.
You know what I say when somebody says that? I go to OJ arguing route. Oil is thicker than both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's true. It's true. But
I had my homeboy say, "Man, that's your mom's, man. You only got one." I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. You got a moms who give you up for adoption." I didn't know my mom till I was 12. I was raised by my dad. Literally had 2 kids. Literally dates only white men, and then tell me that I shouldn't be with chicks with kids. But you literally got with a dude who had 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's my one. That's my one mom's.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's it. Those stories are similar to the ones from my birth mother, and it's totally opposite than what I got from my adopted mother. And don't get me wrong, my adopted mother has her moments of fuckery too. not saying she don't, because like I said, they're all the same.
Right.
But there's this thing where people really think that because it's a relation, they get a pass. No, that's not how life works. There is no passes.
Yeah.
There's no reward for bad behavior. Fuckery is still fuckery, regardless of who it comes from in their relation to you. It is what it is. Yeah. And you gotta call it for what it is. I mean, literally I stopped talking to my birth mother and that side of the family 2009, 2010. My 2 oldest daughters, I stopped talking to them. I think it's been 4 or 5 years now. And like I said a moment ago, I'm still doing fine. And if they want to go to their grave with that mentality or that attitude or whatever it is, that's their choice. They're more than welcome to it. But what you're not going to do is force me to go along for the ride. That's not going to happen. Because this is my car. You know what I'm saying? This is my car. I'm choosing the direction we go in. If you got a problem with that, then I suggest you tuck and roll. Because I got that.
I think I gave that car analogy to either Aegon or fucking Smooth, where I said I'm in the back seat like Colodro from fucking Bronx Tale. I want to get out. Sometimes I just want to see what the fuck happens.
Mm-hmm.
I got one leg out the car, man, with the shit open. But I'll jump out while it's moving.
I remember that.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of like the way I be feeling sometimes. Like I want to see what the fuck's gonna happen, or I could just fully walk away from a lot of shit.
It's like a car crash. Like a car crash. You slow down to see what happens. You got to see it. It's just like a car crash. Everybody wants to see what happened, how bad it is, what it looks like. So I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I guess for me again, it's what I said earlier. I got more years behind me than ahead of me now. So I guess I got less temperance and patience to even want to watch. Just go. Just go because I've got other things to do. And that's another thing a lot of brothers don't realize. Eventually, time is going to catch up with you, where you start to realize, pussy is not everything you think it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the most important word, four-letter word you'll ever know in life. It's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Pussy
Cause
get that nut.
yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong. Zero's right. Pussy is undefeated, but there are points as men when we reach a certain age, we start coming down off of that. As a matter of fact, that's what makes it so weird. We come down, but the women pick up. But for the most part, when we get older, we start realizing there's more things more important than chasing tail. Especially when you reach a certain age and you turn around and you look, and either you left nothing behind you or you left nothing but destruction behind you. Now you're rushing to compensate for what you didn't achieve in the days that you had the time to do it.
I don't know. The more I look and the more I see, I'm beginning to think that I'm thinking I don't know if there's really that many that do.
Oh no, it's a small group for sure, for sure,
Very
for
small.
sure. Yeah, very small for sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that for sure. Um, but it does happen. It used to be more frequent, but it's definitely a small ass percentage now. But like I said, every man reaches that point in time. Just like all the Pookie and Ray Rays we're talking about, dude. You're gonna reach a certain point where you're not gonna lift it up. It's
Mm.
not going, and it's not because you don't want to, but it's just the fact of time. This is what happens when you age. So what? Now you're gonna be using your girl to use her beta to buy you Niagara. That's gonna be the end goal of your life, living like that. Yeah, that's sad.
Mm.
That's sad. You know what I'm saying? I used to feel sorry for them. Now I don't. I just feel sad for them. And to be honest, they're not even worthy of that. To be honest with you.
I was about to say, yeah, I don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
Yes. But oh man, we've gone on for
Oh wow.
we're going on 3 hours. We
Yeah,
had
I'm sorry.
oh, it's good. It's good. We had a good conversation. I do got some shit I got to do.
Yeah. Agon, you starting another stream?
I don't know. I gotta check to see if if I'm getting my daughter pretty soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
okay. Well, if not, I know MOT is going right now, so I'll put his.
Oh, he is?
in the chat. Yeah, he is going right now.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, I just seen it pop up.
so yeah, if anybody wants to go there, go check that out. But thanks for coming up, New. First time on the live panel here.
Oh yeah.
You got any closing statements before we get ready to leave here, New?
I usually tell a lot of people, I think it's stuck with CSIT the best. Stop giving people the benefit of the doubt and doubt the benefit.
Nice.
And stop getting hit in the head with a fucking hammer.
Yo,
nobody likes it.
Time, man. Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I just saying, I think Cecil before his time like a motherfucker. That's why I like having him on, yo.
Yeah, man, I do too, man. I enjoy CSIT. I do.
Like,
Is he a brother or no?
He is.
He is.
He has no allegiances. I mean, he just stands there. He was raised around the world. Like his dad raised in Japan and then Russia.
Nice.
Then Florida. Like
Oh.
I know. I thought I was neutral. This Nick, yo, he like when he talks about shit, like he's a robot with shit. Like God, to be that young and like that, God damn.
I used to be like that, and that's what I'm trying to get back to, but it's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty biased, so it's hard for me to be neutral. But like I said, I am rigid, so I do come off as a person who dismisses. Like I'm very dismissive when it comes to feelings.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I understand Cecil.
I got you.
I got Fred like that. I fuck with him hard though.
I used to be real bad when I was younger. They would nickname me Spock because I just had no emotions, man. But I don't think I'm not sure if it was something that I was like that, or if it was just that was the way I was compensating for the circumstances I was in. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, you grew up in New York, the fucking anxiety pit of the world, man.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like I said, I'm not sure if it's because I grew up watching, like I said, grew up watching Star Trek, and I just picked somebody to emulate, or like I said, if it was because of what I was going through. There's a I mean, there's a difference between if that's the way you are, or if that's
Oh,
the way
all of
your
them.
environment forced you to be. And I think it's more of the latter for me. I think
Okay.
because with what I was going through in my house, what I was going through in school, what I was going through in the neighborhood, what I was like Aegon said, what I was going through in New York, and the way it was. You know what I'm saying? It was just easier to shut down emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And not feel anything. You know what I mean? I mean, man, jeez. I mean, we had crazy stuff. Son of Sam, Bernie Getz, the police. It was just a mess. I mean, not to be funny, but as my adopted mother tells me all the time, she's I'm amazed, absolutely amazed the fact that you're as balanced as you are. So coming out of all that, and that I'm older, far older than my age dictates. But you know, I think it was more a coping mechanism. I think than it was I was actually that type of person.
Gotcha. Well, Aegon, you got any closing statements?
Thank you for having me up here. Shout out to News, shout out to Lawrence Guy, and all props to Eisen for having me on, man. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. Lawrence?
Same as Aegon. Thanks for having me on as always. Thanks everybody in the chat and definitely for the conversation to everybody on the panel. Thanks to the chat. We ran longer and you guys stuck with us. Appreciate that most definitely. Well, most definitely. And as always, man, good conversation. Good conversation. Just everybody be safe, be well, and that's all I got.
Want to thank everybody for coming out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some work and make a link to this jealousy series off of my channel. I think it's got some really good points in here that we can all take and use them to learn and grow from. So I'm gonna make a separate little deal for it in my channel. But I want to thank everyone for coming out, and of course we'll be continuing this next weekend. Appreciate it, and y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Shalom.
All right, man. Peace.